It's an exciting time to be a Chicago Bear. Definitely have some dogs. I'm looking forward to getting out there with them dogs.
What about the 5 that you'll see on Sunday?
I know those 5 guys can't block Khalil Mack.
One word that just continues to keep coming up with Ryan and myself is the word obsession. Being obsessed. There's going to be accountability as well, and I think that's key.
Obsessed. Barflies unite. Barflies arise.
Obsessed.
It's the Sunday Barfly Tailgate Show, and the Barflies are alive. Barflies unite.
Obsessed.
Barflies arise.
Being obsessed.
It's the Sunday Barfly Tailgate Show, and the Barflies are alive. It's game day, the Bears are ready to roll, and so are the guys. It's a show to get you wise, no lies. Educating Barflies. Realize that Bobby dropping bombs. He's the double A be flipping burgers while the Diddy be wanting pot roast. First he's gone, now he's back. Where does he go? And Nicki Minaj, who disappears like David Blaine on the show. Last but not least, Southwest Indiana's finest, calling all the angels. Now he's calling Fiji Highness. Cheer Bobby Diddy, Nicki, Mr. Double A. Talking to Bears to get you ready on the Barfly Tailgate. Barflies unite. Barflies arise.
I know those 5 guys can't block
It's the
Khalil Mack.
Sunday Barfly Tailgate Show, when the Barflies are alive. Barflies unite. Barflies arise.
Chicago Bear.
It's the Sunday Barfly Tailgate Show,
Being
when the
obsessed.
Barflies are alive. Barflies unite. Barflies arise.
Being obsessed.
It's the Sunday Barfly Tailgate Show, when the Barflies are alive.
I'm not a big talker. I like to go out and use my actions to speak, you know, and when I get out there and get on the field, you can probably sense what's going to happen. I want to win.
Being obsessed.
I know those 5 guys can't block Khalil Mack.
Yo.
Being obsessed.
The Barfly Tailgate Show
Being obsessed.
begins now.
Obsessed.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Barfly, the name given to the followers of Bear's Barroom. Loyal, die-hard family members of the show who will wolf pack a motherfucker for being stupid. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show, a show done by Barflies, for Barflies, and any other motherfuckers who want to listen. We'll be coming at you this year via MixLR, kicking a little pregame show with all sorts of annex and off-the-wall shit. We're bringing you some segments with Barflies, reaching out to those tailgating fucking drunks, and bringing you our opinion on them Bears. Let's go! It's game day, Bears fans. The bar room's open and ready to supply your Sunday morning needs. Today and every Sunday throughout the NFL season, our beloved Bears are about to storm into Lambeau tonight, and we get our first game of the season in the Sunday night slugfest with the ever-so-hated Packers. We'll be bringing in a recording today with Nelson Daniels. We'll be interacting in the chat room with Lil Nicky in there monitoring. And then we're going to bring in them boys from the Fantasy Football Goon, Joe Madden and John Santucci. They're going to join us a little later for some start and sit and injury reports. My name is Bobby Phelan. I'll be hosting this circle jerk of Bears ball washers. Let me start off by introducing the crew I got rolling with me. You know him as B.Diddy, Brian Quinn, in the Tailgate Special, talking smack and kicking facts. B-Dids, what's up, bro?
Oh, man, just excited. First week, Packer week. Man, fuck the Packers.
And then we got the Bulldog back. He's crawling into the bar room this early Sunday morning. I promised him some alcohol and a fight. Little Nicky, what's up, man?
Well, I already got the fight, but I'm still missing the alcohol.
All right, well, pour it up. Let's go. Get this thing going.
Let's roll.
We got the ground beef king of Chicago, AireJer, the Aeronator. When he ain't slinging burgers, he's in the bar room begging for Bears. Hey, what up?
Yo, cheers, Bears fan! Let's get this.
That was horrible. Don't ever do that shit again. Last but not least, we got AireJer actual. No dead AireJer here. He's fired up. We're going to let you guys hear what he really sounds like. Big man, how's the pony feeling this morning?
Pony is straight. He's six-pack in before y'all started. Let's roll, baby.
A six-pack in. Oh, shit. Here we go. All right, guys, before we get started, we got a little something here that the super producer put together. I haven't heard it yet, but I've been told it's a message from the barroom leadership team.
who knows what we're going to get here, but whatever. Let's go.
Cheers, Barflies! It's one of your greatest supporters, Aldo Gandia. Seriously, I'm stopping by with some of the crew to wish you all the very best in your inaugural episode of your new weekly show. One of the things we try to do here at the Barroom is something that is very difficult to do, and that is to be different than the others who provide Chicago Bears content, but at the same time be accessible to diehard Chicago Bears fans. I know you guys are diehard fans and Barflies, and I know you are going to bring your own different style of show to the masses. Good luck. It's going to be fun to sit back and watch you grow.
Barfly Tailgate Show. Look at you guys. Part of the Barroom family now. It's going to be a 3-hour show that I don't have to be a part of. Man, doesn't get any better than that. Just want to wish Bobby, Lil Nicky, AireJer, Diddy, Double A, wish you guys all good luck. It's going to be a fun show, and I'm looking forward to it. Welcome to the fam.
Hey, yo. Look at you. Look at you guys. The Barfly Tailgate Show. Welcome to the Bears Barroom Radio Network family. You got your boy Diddy coming in blunt, rolling 1-2, and then you got Nicky Pockets, a.k.a. Nicky Mirage, because he disappears. And you got AireJer somewhere in Southwest Indiana with an affection for poutine and Canadian wine. You got Double A flipping burgers, coming in hot as the newbie at the Bears Barroom Radio Network. And last but not least, the guy that's keeping these clowns in order, Bobby Bombs, Phelan. So look at you guys. Welcome to Bears Barroom Radio Network. I'm excited to hear what you guys bring to the table. Gonna be fun. We're gonna rock it out. Hopefully you won't get too big and not have me and Shane come on the show once in a while. All the best.
Mike North here. Check out the Barflies. These guys know what they're doing, getting you ready for the National Football League. Are you kidding me? The Barflies, they're attacking. They're coming at us. I'm overcome. I don't know what to do. Can't wait to listen.
Hey guys, it's Bears Girl. Congratulations on your new Barfly Tailgate Show. Looking forward to listening to you before every game on my morning runs. Have fun. Bye.
Guess we'll see what's going on Twitter. What the hell? Barfly Tailgate Show. Bears Barroom? 3 hours. Oh my God. This is the greatest single thing that's happened in my life since Loretta Lynn won the wet t-shirt contest down at Timmy's back in '82. I'm so hype. Let's get crazy, y'all.
All right, man. That was AireJer coming in.
That's fucked up now.
that was fucking epic.
Dude, I was trying to hold it. I was laughing. I was trying to hold it.
We should basically call Shane now, right? That's what he wants us to do. Let me make sure that he's up for the show.
Well, Aldo, Shane, Phil, BG, Uncle Mikey, thanks, guys. We appreciate it, man. Let's go ahead and get this thing started off, though. We'll get into our, the matchup of the week, a little Bear-Packer matchup. Not that it's any surprise, but under the John Fox era, the overall record slipped to 96, 94, and 6 in favor of those fucking cheeseheads up north. Now the NFL's oldest rivalry, we got some new faces in the coaching and player positions. Let's get started with the coordinators. The Packers cleaned house, firing their defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. They got rid of their quarterback coach. They missed the playoffs last year for the first time in 10 years. And now we have a new battle in the rivalry. We have our new offensive coordinator, Mark Helfrich, and the Packers have their defensive coordinator, and Mike Pettin, who they brought in to replace Dom Capers. Diddy, let's start this thing off with you. You think these coaches come in with a passion of this rivalry, or do you think this is just another game and they prepare as normal?
It's definitely not another game for us, man. I think they're going to come in hyped up, got some new weapons that they want to put on display. Not really concerned with the Packers offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. They're kind of just recycled guys that they had before. But I definitely think our coaches are very hyped up for this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they got to buy in, right? They got to buy into the rivalry. I mean, otherwise, you don't beat the Packers, you're going away soon. We've seen it, but hey, with the Packers coming in with the new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, even though McCarthy will still probably be controlling the offense, how much of a different team do you think we're going to see in the Pack defensively and maybe even offensively?
Yeah, man, I don't think we're going to see a lot different offensively other than the fact that they've lost some guys. I think the idea was probably to go back to ways that they had done things before. For Aaron Rodgers was comfortable. I look more at the subtractions. Jordy Nelson being gone. What's this wide receiver core going to look like? Is Randall Cobb going to stay healthy? What Jimmy Graham's going to be? In terms of the coordinators, I think, just piggyback off of what Diddy said, I don't really think that's going to play a huge role. Obviously, they're looking for Mike Pettin to change the defense, and we'll see. I mean, got rookie cornerbacks. You got a hugely depleted, linebacker core. I don't think it's all sweet up in there. Everybody's acting like just because Aaron Rodgers is back, they got a red carpet to the Super Bowl, but I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, they better not. They're going to have a tough season, man. I mean, they've had a lot of turmoil over the offseason and that, so hopefully this thing falls off the rails for them. Now for us, let's talk a little expectations. Expectations to change. I mean, we obviously had some painful seasons the last couple of years. Now, with this new coaching staff for the Bears, what are your realistic expectations? What do you want to see? Nikki, let's start with you. What are your expectations of the Bears' new coaching staff, and what do you want to see today on the field from these coaches? Nikki went Mirage. Where'd he go?
I'm here. I was on mute.
Oh, there he is.
I think realistically, the biggest thing that I want to see out of this coaching staff is change and progress. I don't want to see the same old that we've been seeing for almost the past decade. We got to come out there with fire and brimstone, and just with Nagy's motto is be obsessed, and that's what I want to see. I want to see that obsession on the football field. I want to see it translate through play and through heart and through desire. A change of culture. That's my biggest expectations. That's what I want to see this year. As far as today, I want to see a Bears win.
Yeah, I mean, I know the whole motto, the be obsessed, man. I mean, I just hope these dudes come out just, kind of like Mac put it before, just like dogs. I want to see, like, this defense kick it into high gear. I don't care if some penalties are thrown for late hits. I mean, it's the Packers. Like, that shit happened. Like, let's get after him. Jared, why is it a big deal? Like, so other teams, right? The other teams have changed coaching positions this season, and we've heard about it, and everybody's like, oh, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? The Packers go in clear house, and, I mean, they're right here with us in the NFC North, and nobody's even talking about them. Nobody's talking about them taking a step back or dealing with this new coordinator. Is Aaron Rodgers just all that, where everybody thinks that they're going to be the same team even with all these coordinators?
Aaron Rodgers covers a lot of warts. I will give him that, but as far as the national media, basically, let's just giving him mouth hugs. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. There's going to be a regression. This defense that we've built with the Vic Fangio signing that they wanted, that we basically cock-blocked them. I'd say it's our time. It's our time. Fuck the Packers and fuck what people think. Our coaches have been in the old in the room there doing their work, and I think it's time. The national media's got it wrong, and we're about to show them tonight.
Yeah, man, I like that little cock block comment. I mean, I don't know if you guys seen it the other day, but some of these Packers deep insiders or whatever the hell you want to call them, like, they came out with, we didn't want Fangio, we didn't want Fuller, we didn't want Mac. The only thing we managed to do this season was to make the Bears spend extra money. Those guys are just straight stupid, man. There is no way. Otherwise, I mean, if they would have got these guys, they'd have been like, look what we did to the Bears this year. And now the media tries to spin it as to like, oh, look what we did. We made them spend all this money. I mean,
yeah, imagine if they would have got him. How much shit would we have heard then?
Oh yeah, exactly.
It would have been, oh, we got this, and oh, we got that. Oh, we got Mac. Oh, we got. No, guess what, motherfuckers? You got zero. You get nothing. Go home.
Yeah,
I think it's just their excuse. They're trying to make themselves look better than they actually are for having a horrid offseason.
Yeah, agree, man. I mean, one thing's for sure is that the expectations are so high for Nagy that our boy, Draft Dr. Phil, made a little song about it. Let's go ahead and run that Nagy song one more time for the new listeners in the chat room. Barfly, what's up? If you ain't heard it, here comes Draft Dr. Phil. The Nagy
and it goes
song.
a little something like this. Hit it.
Hit it.
Down to KC, he was looking for a hole to fill.
He was in a bond and way behind on the end of a 3-year deal.
When he came across a young man sitting with a guru, his office was hot.
He sat him down in a leather chair.
He said, Coach, let me tell you what. Bet you probably know it, but it's time the Bears are due.
And I know the fucking Colts are next door, so let's make a deal with you.
Now we got a pretty good defense, coach, and the receivers will all be new.
I'll stock that side, enjoy the ride, and you could just be you.
Coach said, my name's Nagy, and Pace, we're gonna win. And I'll take your check, you'll never regret when we're headed to the promised land. Nagy, fire up your boys and get your coaches hired. Cause Chi-Town's Pistons a playoff team is what they do desire. And if you win, you get the city and the streets paved in gold. But if you lose, Canada gets that coach.
Got to work, he said, I'll start this fucking show.
With a phone call that he sent help.
Then he long-term Fangio.
He brought in Tabor for special
teams and something we truly missed.
They all sat down in the coach's room and it sounded something like this.
Yeah, we're gonna dictate what the defense does. We are gonna game plan and use all our fucking weapons. And then Jordan Howard, Tony Cowan, and Mitch Trubisky and company can be truly appreciated.
When they all finished, he said, I'm glad we're thinking as one. He threw the playbook on the table, let me show you how it's run. He said, Mitch at the helm, it's gonna be fun. Coming at the defense with a run and gun. Hand off to Howard, maybe RPO. Ain't scared for the one, gonna go, go, go.
We are going to make defenses adjust to us. Defenses will hear us. We're obsessed.
In the barroom. Yo, Vic had a big old grin cause you just knew he knew it was sweet.
And he gave that playbook back and said, some of this I've never seen.
Then Nagy just stood there grinning and said, we're gonna take the North again.
We'll shine Lombardi trophy with tears of Packers fans. And they say, Nagy and Household's gonna be one. Mitch at the helm is gonna be fun. Vic's got the D and we trust Pedro. Pace is fired up, food we know.
We're obsessed. We're obsessed.
Bear down. Man, there it is, the Nagy song coming at you. Yo, that other dude in there with
well
that
done.
pretty fucking sexy voice, I must say. There's a dude in there that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that dude's got a sexy ass voice. Not Phil, the other one. You know what I'm saying?
He might be kind of gay, but whatever.
Hey, so the Nagy song. Nagy kicked it off for us, man. Nagy kicked off the offseason. We went out, acquired Nagy, and then we just went on a spree of picking up players, which honestly made this probably the most exciting offseason that I can remember for the Bears. We'll jump into some player changes, some Bears offensive additions. I'm not going to go through them all and name them. You guys should know them. If not, just fucking hang up, and we'll get another Barfly on the show.
Just put your mic down now. Just quit. Fuck you.
Put it down. So we all know the additions to the Bears offense, man, that Pace and Nagy went out and got this year. Now, before we kick off today, I want to know who your personal favorites are and who you want to see go out there today and just light it up. Nicky, sticking on the offensive side of the ball, which one player is your favorite addition to this offseason and who you going for today?
Man, I want to see Anthony Miller come out and light it up.
Yep, I think we all do, man. I mean,
got him out of the draft, but out of the free agencies, man, I'm kind of excited to see how Taylor Gabriel is going to fit and work into this offense as well.
Yeah, both of those players I picked up as a little sleepers in my fantasy league, but we'll get into the fantasy stuff later with old Goon and the Tooch and Tooch and the Goon. We got a little surprise drop for them too. But hey, staying with the offense, man. Who do you think is going to have the biggest impact on these players that we brought in this offseason?
Certainly made a lot of moves. I think that Nicky's right. Anthony Miller is going to be huge. I think that the contributions of one Michael Burton can't be understated. However, I mean the fullback position.
Are you high?
He's about to get hung up on. He's about to get hung up on.
Just fucking stop.
I was just trying
to. Dude, I honestly heard you say Trey Burton. I did not hear Michael. I was like, okay, yeah.
He tweeted that out.
He's going to get the most targets. And then I wanted to.
No, I'm talking
Go
about
ahead,
I want to actually shout out Trey Burton. Trey Burton is going to be huge. I think he's probably going to be the leading receiver. I think there's going to be a ton of plays over the middle to him. I see him running down the field for 15 to 40-yard gains. Guy's going to be huge. And I just think our red zone looks are going to be like nothing Bears fans have ever seen. Whether we spread out wide or you have lots of people in the backfield. I mean, they were running all kinds of people out of the backfield. I went to camp that one day, and they had some pretty interesting formations. So my guy's definitely going to be Trey Burton for sure. I think he's going to have a monster year.
Yeah, man. We just got to keep the defense on their toes. I mean, we can't go in changing up different offensive sets. I mean, if you're going to run something out of one, you go ahead and build off of that instead of doing the old low gains mentality and Madden mentality where you just pick the same play over and over again and try to go with it. Diddy, I know you called the Taylor Gabriel pickup in the offseason. There was a bunch of guys that you had nailed, man, and we're saying we should bring this guy in. Who's your favorite addition this offseason? Who you want to go for?
Nicky took my guy Taylor Gabriel. I'm also really excited about Allen Robinson, seeing what he has, to offer us. We don't know coming off the injury, but I think he's going to have a lot of impact on this offense.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, they've kind of kept him under wraps this preseason. We haven't seen a lot out of him, and I kind of just we got to spread the field, get him out there and see if he can make those cuts and do what we brought him in to do here.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, even though we had way more additions on offense, let's get into these defensive changes. And, with the biggest change being the addition of the Mac, let's hit a little of this first, and we'll get into these questions.
Bears Barroom.
It's an exciting time to be a Chicago Bear. And on the defensive side of the ball, you definitely have some dogs. And I'm looking forward to getting out there with them dogs. I love the game of football. And I want to be the best at what I do. And that's just me. That's just me. That's what comes with Mac. I'm a competitor. I like looking at the negative stuff because it fuels me. It lights a fire that is going to be burning for a long time. You know what I mean? I want to win. This team wants to win, and championships is definitely the goal.
Bears Barroom.
Dude, I think we're all pumped up for Mac to take the field, and I don't really care if he knows the defense or not. I don't think that matters. All I need to tell him is get after 12. We'll learn the playbook as he goes. And as AA coined it, the Macquisition, you know, right before the start of the season, the Macquisition had all Bears fans pumped up and ready to go. Jared, tell the Barflies in the chat room how much of an impact you see Khalil Mack making in this game today.
Consistent pass rush off the edge with a dog mentality. Like you said, we got some dogs, and he is one of the dogs. And with his motor, I mean, we've all seen the video where he takes, Flowers from Kansas City? He rushes him upfield, and he takes his left hand and just tosses him like a bitch. Well, yeah. Packer fans, get a good look at that because you're going to see that for the next 6 years. And that's coming. And then, we got that Leonard Floyd guy. He's going to really benefit from Mac taking on those blocks and taking on double teams because they're going to have to double him. And then you see what Hicks is going to get singled up. Goldman's going to get more singles. I mean, the way that this runs, if it goes the way that I think it'll go, this defensive line's going to really benefit off of a beast off the edge.
Yeah, man. And the Packers, I mean, even in today, the Packers got some players that are coming off of high ankle sprains, knee injuries, and that, and they're going to have to deal with this Bears defensive line coming at them. Man, that thing you said about KC with Flowers, I don't know if you guys seen it, but after that happened, somebody created a meme, and it was like when he threw Flowers, it turned into like some chick throwing a bouquet at a wedding. That shit was fucking hilarious, man. But I'm glad you brought it up, and as you guys know, Eddie Goldman got his new contract the other day. 4-year, yeah, buddy, 4-year, $42 million payday. Diddy, how much of an impact on his play does this, or on this, how much of an impact will today his play with the contract being off of his shoulders?
I think it takes a huge weight off of his shoulders. I think he just worry about football now, and I think he's going to be dominant this year. I mean, the addition of Mac just also takes pressure off, not just Floyd. It takes pressure off everybody. You have to account for him on every play. We haven't had that kind of player on this defense in a long time. So I just think everybody's going to benefit from just his presence on the field.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give it one more shout out to the Oakland Raiders. Thank you. I mean, you decided to pay a coach $100 million, but you won't play a dude on the field. But whatever, pay fucking old Johnny all he wants because I'm glad Mac had to leave town. AA, besides Mac and Goldman, who's the player you're looking most forward to seeing on this Bears defense today?
I want to see Kyle Fuller. I want to see what Kyle Fuller does. I think he's looking really strong, really confident. I think, his deal getting done was kind of what kicked things off, even though that was a little bit of a rocky thing for a minute there. But we got him. And, so I'm excited about Kyle Fuller. I'm excited to see him, play some shutdown corner. Just real quick, I definitely wanted to shout out the people in the chat room right now. MixLR, we got about 29 Barflies in there. We got George Bayless in there. We got the Tooch. We got Mr. Jordan. We got Shane, the smartest man in the bar room. We got Phil in the chat room. We got the Gaines Report. We got Father Crime. What's good? We got Corey Denny in the house. We got T-Dog. We got Jeremy.
T-Dog.
What's good? We got a bunch of Barflies checking us out on MixLR chat room. Really appreciate you guys getting up early, making sure that, you get your drinking started, get the Breakfast of Champions going, and, we appreciate you. What's up, Jared?
Oh, yeah, Gaines is in there, man. One more set, Gaines. Thanks for skipping the gym this morning, big boy. Getting in there with them Barflies. All right,
Talking about he's in the gym listening.
Yeah, probably. He's probably throwing racks back right now. Hey, one piece I think that we're all missing, man, with this Max signing and the Goldman extension, which honestly, it just had me excited once we got these dudes because Roquan has all this pressure taken off of him now. I mean, he's a first-round pick, and normally what we would weigh on, like heavy pressure, we got to see this dude perform, got to see him perform. We haven't heard anything. Even after the holdout, we got him signed, and then it was just crickets, like Shane's damn basement. We weren't hearing anything but crickets.
Orange painted crickets.
Yeah, I mean, now he can just go out there today and get after it. Jared, let me know, what do you think about this whole, you think this is an established plan to take pressure off of Roquan, or do you think it just played out perfect and Roquan can go out and ball out today?
Well, if you understand the press conferences this week, you understand that they've been targeting him since the preseason, since before the preseason. Mm-hmm. So I would say that this was a calculated plan. I think it works out ingeniously because nobody's talking about, well, Roquan held out for 27 days or some shit. Pretty smart move. How do you not take a chance at that guy? I mean, the Packers had the ammunition to do this deal, and the fact that we got him, plus did we throw cash into that deal? I'm not sure. I know there's cash flow issues in Oakland.
No, we signed him again. I mean, we re-signed him for his 6-year mega million contract, but we got a second-round pick back too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Highway fucking robbery.
That they got that pick is crazy. That. And I thought what was wild too is that I was hearing that basically the Raiders chose the Bears because they think that the first round picks are going to be better because just like everybody else, they're sleeping on the Bears and they think they're going to get, these hot first round picks. Oh no, the Packers are going to be so great. Those picks aren't going to be high. Well, news to them. They got screwed double time.
Yeah,
double A screwed.
Double A screwed.
Man, John Gruden's my second favorite coach, man.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and flip over to the Pack. Let's take a look at what the Pack did this offseason and some of the players our fans should maybe pay attention to during this game. Not normal for the Packers, but they added a lot of veteran talent this offseason. It's not really their blueprint or what they've done in the past. But starting with the offense, they added 2 tight ends in Jimmy Graham and Mercedes Lewis. Now, I know a lot of you Barflies don't know, but we like to bullshit, a lot over Skype and just not recording. And AA, you had me dying the other night with the whole thoughts on Jimmy Graham edition, man. So I'm going to come right back to you with what do you think of these tight ends and how they're going to affect the Packers offense?
I don't know if that was me with Jimmy Graham. I think it was.
Oh, it was.
Yo,
it was totally you.
Yeah, it was you, man. I was laughing my ass off. But go ahead, if you don't remember, that's fine.
No, I remember. I mean, I listen. I think Jimmy Graham is a big ass target. I mean, I think he's gonna do some work. But I also think that the guy is a liability in the blocking department. And I think he can check out of games if he doesn't get the ball. And I mean, I don't know what happened in Seattle. So, it's not like this guy's riding high off of some monster, time in Seattle and just looking to come in. I mean, I feel like every year the Packers have some new tight end who's supposed to be the new Aaron Rodgers toy that's going to, whether it's Jared Cook or, Bennett or whoever the hell they're going to try, and they've been trying to replace Jermichael Finley for how long now, and it just hasn't worked. So, I'm not necessarily buying into him, but he's Jimmy Graham, that is. But I think you have to account for that guy. I mean, he's big, and I think it's going to be really interesting how the Bears, how they treat him, how they cover him. But the good part is as maybe Aaron Rodgers says, maybe the rest of his receivers really are bums. I mean, he basically called them out, and we'll see it. Geronimo Allison gonna step up. Is Randall Cobb gonna stay healthy? I mean, I think Jimmy Graham can be huge, but not between the 20s. I mean, dude doesn't work between the 20s. That's he only works in the red zone. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically like adding. I mean, I know that one year he tried to get paid like a wide receiver, and I think the Saints actually did. Maybe I don't remember, but either way, I would rather have a tight end that thinks he's a wide receiver than a tight end who thinks he's a tight end, because at least maybe his ass won't block when he's supposed to, or go ahead and get run over by some of these defensive linemen we got. Now, I know you brought up the wide receivers, Nicky, with the release of Jordy Nelson. How much effect does that have on Aaron Rodgers and the comfortability or maybe just the chemistry going into this season?
I thought that was a huge mistake out of their part getting rid of Jordy Nelson. You're talking about one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets. It's going to be, if Randall Cobb stays healthy, then they could still do something. But I just think that was a mistake as far as the Packers go, and I thank them for that too. It's going to be, you're talking about getting rid of a huge threat that on their side of the ball that one of your quarterbacks has grown chemistry with. And didn't even Aaron Rodgers pretty much insult his wide receiving core earlier in the preseason?
Yeah, he said that they were piss poor.
I agree. I actually agree with something Aaron Rodgers said. So,
yeah, I mean, we can hope. We can hope that they come out piss poor. But honestly, I think that was probably, they just released him. It's not like they tried to trade him or anything. They just let Jordy Nelson walk. I think that's a huge...
He hobbled. He didn't really walk. He kind of hobbled.
Yeah, well,
his leg.
I know Uncle Mikey wanted him on the Bears team over here, but I'm good without Jordy. I like the younger guys that we brought in. And I mean, it would be great if he came just to light up the Packers with him, but otherwise, I'm good with building this wide receiver core over and, bringing our own guys out and getting some homegrown talent in here. Now, we got the Packers defense had some additions to it, specifically the front seven and the defensive back core. Diddy, I don't think both these rookies are starting today, but what do you expect from the rookie secondary this year? Is it something that's going to be the strength of this team or a strength well into the future, or how do you see this playing out?
Well, I like both of these guys coming out of the draft, especially not knowing what was going on with Fuller and Prince. I was looking at some of the cornerbacks coming out, and Alexander, he has really good ball skills. He has this ability to just stay in coverage even when he's looking back at the quarterback. And Jackson has a lot of intangibles that kind of reminded me of Charles Tillman. I'm not saying he's going to be Charles Tillman, but I really think they're going to have pretty good careers. But I haven't said that. I kind of hope they suck because they're Packers. So
yeah,
well, it's a guarantee they'll suck. It's just a matter of what.
Jer, I know you spent some time in the trenches back in your heyday. What do you think about the addition of Muhammad Wilkerson, and what does he do for this Packer defense? With Clay and them behind him, and is he a threat that we need to worry about, or is he just going to be a bonus to us because he's kind of been a cancer in all the teams he's been on?
Well, he is what he is. I mean, he's a big guy. He's physical. He's fast. He's everything you kind of want. I mean, he would have been a target of ours too.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of passed on that for greener pastures. We're already kind of set there. I'm interested to see how our offensive line neutralizes him. And, I'm really not worried about Clay Matthews. I mean, Clay Matthews coming up from behind the guy, there's something new, right? I mean,
wow.
I mean, there's nothing new to that.
Hey,
I really feel like, we had a question in the chat whenever we were talking about the offense. I think it was a week. Had a question about, do you think Rodgers will run a hurry up to try to keep our defense from substituting? And that's a great question, first of all. Second of all, I don't think it's really going to matter, because if we can keep our guys fresh, I think that is one thing that we do have to concern ourselves with a little bit, because they don't have a lot of field time. Can our guys, keep fresh, keep, where we're not winded and we're not gassed in the third quarter, late in fourth quarter, so.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on how they're.
I wanted to pose that to you guys. Sorry.
No, that's a good question, man. I mean, it all depends on how they're doing. Obviously, if you're not gonna run a hurry up offense when you just got sacked on first down and you're not moving the ball downfield. You know, the team, they take advantage of the hurry up offense when things are clicking and they got the matchups they want. I think with the players that we have in different positions and the things that we've done this year, being able to disrupt them. I mean, without maybe they run the hurry up when Mac's not on the field. Well, I mean, we got some rookies in there too that are going to be beasts, I think. But I think it's a good question. I just don't know if we're to the point where they take advantage and they're moving the ball downfield all crazy on us. You know, I don't see if they're going with it if we come out and we're smacking them in the mouth. What do you think, AA, about Packers coming out and trying to run a hurry up on us?
I mean, I think it's probably a good idea. I think Isaiah makes a good point. You know, I think if you look at our defensive line, it's still a question. The rotation, you know, is Roy Robertson Harris gonna get a lot of time? Is Bullard gonna show up? You know, what the hell is Aaron Lynch gonna bring to the table? You know, so if I was the Packers, I would definitely want to test these guys. You know, and I think after watching that first game on Thursday, you know, how sloppy it was, and they're the team that's got the cohesiveness, you know, with the quarterback, and they're in an offense that they already know, and so, you know, that's their advantage. You know, our advantage is that we have this offense that we're keeping under wraps, and, you know, it's the don't look behind the curtain offense, but I think they'd be smart to run a hurry up and test the conditioning of our guys and not let them rotate. And I think Fangio, you know, he doesn't really want to blitz. He wants to get pressure without having to throw blitzes, but, you know, I think we could see that. I think that's a great point by Isaiah Robles in the chat room.
Yeah, man. So I'm kind of on the flip side of it, right? You're going up against a team. Obviously, the Packers have the new defensive coordinator. They're going to have new defensive schemes. What if we come out in a hurry up and make these dudes who are supposed to know the playbook by now have to adjust to it? You know,
I fully anticipate that, actually, because we forget that their starters didn't exactly play Game 3 either.
Yeah,
you know, they don't have a lot of field time either. So
yeah,
and our defense is going to be a question.
Yeah, our defense brought back a lot of the same people, you know, and but their defense, we can actually get after them because they're still learning a new defensive playbook. Nikki, what do you think? You think if it's our advantage if we come out in this hurry up and try to get up on them early?
I think that does work into our advantage if we get up on them early, man. They're going to have to be adjusting. And the way that it's our expectations for this offense with the RPO, man, we're all assuming that it's going to be dangerous, and we're all thinking it's going to be dangerous. And if it's as dangerous as it seems like it's going to be, there's going to be a huge plus side. I mean,
I hope so, man.
Shane in the chat room, the smartest man in the bar room, said Bears are going deep in the first 3 plays.
I agree.
He was calling out the whole preseason how Kevin White was going to get that ball deep. You know, first time he got in there, and that came true. So,
did you say Kevin White's going to get balls deep?
Yeah, I think I did.
Deeper the better, right?
See who gets it. I hope
there you go, Diddy.
I hope it's Allen Robinson and not Kevin White.
I totally agree with Shane, though. I think we go deep the first 3 plays for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get after him, man. But, hey, so that kind of rolls me in perfectly with your little comment there. Speaking of balls deep, we got this new little segment for you. We're going to call it B.Diddy's Wet Dream. Now, Barflies, this is a segment where B.Dids is going to break down his wet dream. Meaning the one player man. I don't know if Diddy really knows this, but he's going to break it down. He's going to give us the one player or positional group that he thinks holds the most importance to this game. That's going to leave him with a smile on his face and a wet spot in his pants. B-Dids, over to you, boy. Who's your wet dream?
Man, I feel vulnerable now, man.
Well, no, girl.
Sticky sheets and all. Here it comes.
Well, my wet dream is Rachel Bush and Kay Adams, but what are you gonna do? Offensively, I think Mitch and the wide receivers. We got Robinson, Gabriel, Miller, White, and Wims. I'm not mentioning the other guy. I just think that we have a ton of potential just to throw all over the field on these guys, man. I just want to see it. I mean, when's the last time we've actually had this much depth at wide receiver, you know? And defensively, I think the front seven, man, I just can't wait to see what they do. Floyd, Trevathan, Roquan, Mack, Hicks, Goldman, and Bullard up front, and I just think Bullard and Floyd are finally going to answer some questions for us because the pressure's off of them with Mack there.
Yeah.
Like, I think you had mentioned, Bobby, you brought up a good point on one of our conversations where you were saying they're probably going to put Mack behind Bullard and put Floyd behind Hicks, and I think that would be an excellent move. I just can't wait to see how disruptive this front seven is.
Yeah, I know a lot of people came out, man, and said that they think we got Mack playing right behind Akeem. But, I mean, wouldn't that just overpower the one side? I mean, I guess it's not bad because one of them are getting in at all times. But imagine if you put one on each side and you just kind of smash down the pocket. I think that's a hell of a way to go. Diddy's Wet Dream was brought to you in part by Blue Chew. No, it's really not.
I need to go get a washcloth.
Hairball washer.
Well, we can't let Diddy have a wet dream without letting the fucking pony saddle up. Go ahead, saddle up, Barflies. It's fucking time for the Baloney Pony Express. I don't know if we got any fucking horse drops or horse races or I don't know, man. We'll fix that shit later. Now
the
this
pony.
The Baloney Pony himself, AireJer, is going to break down which defensive player that we're trying to lay the wood to today. Which one on the Packers are we trying to just go out there and fuck sideways? Jared, give me the player who you want to take advantage of today. Run with your own or go ahead and get a little sticky with Diddy's group.
Ride it, jump on it. All right. Anyway, I completely think that the linebackers they're in the danger zone. We're going to run across. We're going to throw some routes across the middle, and if the linebackers for the Packers aren't ready, I'm telling you, we're gonna rape them because our speed is. I mean, get the kits out. It's going to be ugly. Our speed across the middle, and I think for real, that's where our emphasis should be. You should test those guys and make sure that they can cover, because I don't think they can cover Taylor Gabriel. I don't think they can cover Anthony Miller. And I'm sure that they can't cover Tariq Cohen. So throw them all out there at the same time and be like, oh, well, we're just going to run crossing routes through the middle, kind of like you did to us for the last 20 years. Enjoy that. And whenever we're done fucking you for 41 tonight, because we're putting 41 up, I'm just going to throw it out there.
41.
We're going to put everybody on notice tonight.
I think that's too low.
Nicky, dude, we'll get to all that later. We'll get to the fucking pony pick'em and the points and who you think's gonna win these games in a little bit here. But I mean, I agree with you, man. There's a lot of weapons. There's Burton, Cohen, Miller. We got to get these guys across the middle. Take advantage of these linebackers. Take advantage of these rookie defensive backs. And just get out there and do what we want to do and keep them guessing and keep them moving. We got big game names. Next thing we're going to roll in here with, it's going to be our top performer of the day, offense and defense. So you're going to pick your offensive guys first, and then we'll roll back through, and you're going to pick your defensive guys. We're going to go through the whole crew on this one. It's basically, just pick who you think your top player of the game's going to be and who you want to see come out here and ball out. So, Nicky, let's go ahead and start with you. Big game name, offense. Hit it.
Mr. Trubisky. Trubisky is going to have one of the best games of his career so far. He's going to come out there. He's going to show him why we traded up one spot to grab him. And he's going to show him out there how coaching matters and how much he's developing and how much he knows this system. He's going to roll with it. He's going to be that gunslinger like he was in high school. There was a story about Mr. Trubisky when he was playing in Ohio. They called him Favre 10, which is fitting because it's Packer week. because he would roll to the right all the time, lean back, and toss the ball and force those passes. That's okay during the preseason, and he's going to make mistakes, but he is going to come out there and bust some balls today, boys. That's my offensive pick'em.
Offensive big game name for Diddy or for Nicky was Trubisky. Hey, who do you got on the big game name?
I think Trey Burton. I'm going to go with Trey Burton. He's going to have a monster game. I don't think any of those linebackers can cover him. Not even a little bit. He's going to be all over the field. He's going to be lining up in the backfield. He's going to be spread out. He's going to be on the end. Trey Burton is going to be monster. And all the Chicago media that were questioning that signing are just going to sit there and spin on it because Trey Burton's going to get his.
Yeah, man, watching that game the other night, I think it's pretty obvious that the Eagles were missing him. I mean, we've seen Ertz drop a couple passes, and, dude, I mean, I'm glad to have him. I think he's going to have the most receptions this year for any Bears player. I think Burton's going to be utilized, to the max, and we're just going to go ahead and start tearing people apart with Burton, soften up the underneath, and then go with that deep ball. Diddy, who you got on your big game name offensive player?
It's Jordan Howard for me, man, especially with the spread offense. I think he's not going to be seeing 8-man boxes as much, and it's going to be like a spread style. He's just reliable, dependable, and he's the best player on our offense still.
Yep. So
I can't wait to see him run that ball.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't wait for him to just put critics to sleep with this whole can't catch a pass, isn't the dominant player, that whole side of it. I just want him to put all that shit to rest this year. Jer, I'm pretty sure Diddy just took your boy, but who's your offensive big game name of the day?
Well, yeah, he definitely did take my guy. I mean, Jordan Howard is the alpha dog. He is the alpha, the omega. He is fucking the beast. But I also think that Tariq Cohen, he's going to have his opportunities in the flats, and with everybody running coverage off, he's going to be open underneath. You got to make some guys miss. You got to hit the holes whenever you're running the ball, and you got to take off whenever you get the chance. I mean, if there's don't dance, hit it hard. That's the pony way right there.
Don't dance and hit it hard. The pony way. I can go out the back of the shirt. The baloney pony. Don't dance and hit it hard. Hey, Barflies in the chat room, if you got a big game name on offense or defense you want to share with us, go ahead and post it in there, and we'll comment on it here after we're done wrapping up the defense. So let's go back around the other side and come back to Jer. Let's start with Jer on this one. We'll go in reverse order. Jer, who's your defensive big game name?
Prince Amukamara with the post coming up
Prince
front.
and the pony. That should be
Prince
a fucking
and Pony
Disney
show.
That should be a fucking Disney
Prince and
movie.
Pony show, bro. That's what's gonna happen.
Go ahead.
He covers really well. He's always had let's just say he's got nice tight coverage. So whenever he gets that nice tight coverage on, an errant pass here, and we're going to experience something that we haven't seen much as Bears fans. Aaron Rodgers throwing picks.
Yeah, man.
And we get short fields. We've got to get it into points.
Yeah, agree, man. Coming back to you, Diddy, your defensive. Who's your defensive big game name?
I think if fully healthy, Danny Trevathan is going to be our big defensive player in this game. Just think he's going to get a lot of tackles. The focus is going to be on Mac when he is in. I don't know how much Mac and Roquan are going to play. I would say Mac if he was going to play the whole game, but I just think Trevathan, I mean, when he was in last year, he really had a huge impact on our defense. And I think he's going to be the man this game.
Yeah, man. I mean, Trevathan came out. Trevathan's another guy last year. He missed all the offseason, but nobody was talking about that. He missed every preseason game. Nobody was talking about that, but now it's magically a crutch for them to talk shit about Mac. Big game name coming at you. Who was up? I think it is AA. AA, who's your big game name defensive player?
I think I'm going to go back to Fuller, but I think it'll be interesting because I think the less you hear Fuller's name, the better game he has. Because if they're not throwing to him, then that means he's being successful. I think that if we could do well if Amukamara and Fuller really do well, and we don't have any screw ups from Cooper, who the chat room and a lot of people are like, why is Cooper on the roster? Blah blah blah. A couple people in the chat room weighing in. We got Chris Armstrong says. Let's see. Chris Armstrong says Burton's gonna do it. DK Voss says Allen Robinson. Jeremy says Double M, Miller, and Mack. 85 Bear with me says Anthony Miller on offense. Just going back to the offense for some people.
Yeah.
We got who else in the chat room? Father Crime. Trubisky is our 99 Warner. Big words. Love that. Tooch says Howard and Hicks. BM Heathcote says Floyd is going to do it. So we got 41 people in the chat room right now, and it's lit in the chat room. Everybody's weighing in on their picks, and the Prince and Pony is riding.
You know what we're forgetting about, guys?
Who you got? Go ahead.
We're forgetting about Eddie motherfucking Jackson.
Ooh.
Okay? Every year
it's sexual chocolate.
Every year it seems like the Packers beat us on that one fucking deep ball. And it breaks our heart at the end of the game. Every year. Eddie Jackson's not going to put up with no bullshit this game. He is going to be a shutdown safety, and we'll watch him get ready to roll.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for Eddie Jackson. So let's go ahead. Let's head back to the chat room real quick. Comment on a couple other people. So we got Miller out there. You guys think? I mean, I know he's coming in fresh, brand new. I mean, it's good. Nobody knows what he's really bringing unless they. I don't know if they're really preparing for him. You think Anthony Miller comes out and balls out today, or you think it's a little thing that we keep under wraps and we go to Robinson more, or we try to do the same old shit as always and get White involved? Hey, what do you think? Do you think we're going around to Miller, or do you think we're sticking with our Robinson and them?
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of guys open for Trubisky, and especially against this Packer defense. I think they're definitely going to try to get Miller in. I'd like to see if the adrenaline is going to work on him, because he's a hype guy, and I think obviously everybody's really excited about Miller, but the downside of him, if there was one, was that sometimes he was getting a little too hype and not running the right routes or what have you. So I think, I think there's going to be a lot of people involved. But I think, that initially, I think they're going to play it safe, and they're going to be, they're going to be going to Burton. I think they're going to go to Allen Robinson. I think, Tariq Cohen's going to get some looks. He was getting lined up all over the field. And I think they're going to feed it to Howard, and we'll see what happens with the RPO if Mitch makes the right call, and that's going to be, they got, but I think there's going to be, when was the last time you could ever think of a Bears quarterback having this many weapons? I don't think there's ever been a time.
And I think we're going to look at it. I mean, I don't know if it's possible, and I hope it's not. And, maybe it's shitting a little bit, but I think it's common sense. With this many weapons, it could be a bad thing, because you don't ever know who to go to. I mean, he's got all these people. It's not like some of these quarterbacks, they have their key, like you've seen Julio or the other night. Everybody knew when it was going to Julio, and they still couldn't stop it. And, I think if he gets locked in or to one receiver, that he's got his guy. But then again, if you got all these weapons and he's trying to continuously, spread the love instead of looking for that one receiver, I think it could be pretty bad for us. You know what I mean?
Well, I think if he's looking for just one receiver, it's going to be a bad day. We have the weapons. There's if he has to focus on one receiver, then
I think
don't you guys miss when Cutler was constantly just staring down Brandon Marshall, no matter what was happening, and just force it to him? Even if Brandon Marshall was on the sidelines, he would throw him the ball. You don't miss that?
Yeah, I think the key is he just needs to throw to the open guy, man. I think
exactly.
I don't want him to get locked into where, I got to share the ball with this guy and that guy and this guy and that guy. He's just got. I mean, we have so many names. I just want him. He's just got to get the ball to the open guy, regardless if it's the same guy, But sharing the love, I think, could kind of get a little dangerous. Diddy, why don't you go ahead and comment on? I forgot which Barfly it was. I don't have my chat open because it kicked some feedback. That said, he thought Allen Robinson was his big game name. What do you see coming from AR?
I don't disagree with that. I mean, he should be the number one receiver on our team. Very talented. If he can bring back what he had about 2 seasons ago, we're gonna be golden, man. I mean, there should be somebody open on every play, and I think Robinson is just gonna have a hell of a season. I think he should be the best receiver on the squad.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely. I mean, I don't think you really count White as being a veteran because the only thing he did was sit on the sidelines. But he's definitely, I would think, the leader of the wide receiving core.
Definitely.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's the veteran presence, the leader of the wide receiver core, even though he didn't play last year. And he's still a young man. He's a young dude coming in, but I mean, that just goes to show how much young youth energy we have on that team right now.
Absolutely. And just to let you guys know, I do have to bounce out. I got my son's birthday today, so it's been real, guys. I'll probably hit you up around halftime and bear down, baby.
Happy birthday to Logan.
Hey, dude, we'll try to keep it clean at the end and give a little birthday shout out to Logan, man. You have a good day today. You better get that kid something Bears because I know he's not. He's a little wayward right now with his team of choice. But you better get that kid something Bears and fix this establishment you got going on over there.
Hey, my daughter's a Bears fan, so.
Yep, smart girl. All right, dudes. We'll talk to you later, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Peace.
Peace. All right, guys. If you didn't know, we're bringing in Barflies this season, and we're getting their thoughts on the upcoming Bears games. This week, we got with our boy Nelson Daniels. We did a little pre-recording in a segment we're calling Nelson's Niche, with Nelson's 3 keys to Bears victory. All right, Barflies, we got Nelson in the house. He's ready to do his little piece. It's called Nelson's Niche. He's going to give us his keys to a Bears victory. So, Nelson, it's all you, man. Take it away.
All right, hi, fellas. How we doing, fellas?
What up, man?
Hey, man, I'm fired up, man.
What up?
What's going on? So, these are the 3 keys to the for a Bears win. So we got to collapse the pocket so Aaron Rodgers can't roll left and right, and we got to just collapse him in there so he panics and throws a couple picks or throws a couple throws that he doesn't want to intentionally want to make. The second one is for Jordan Howard to have a good game, a productive, strong, setting the tone game to where he controls the clock. Aaron Rodgers is off the field, and at the same time, we're moving the chains, and we're keeping everything on track. And then the third one is for our special teams to be an advantage and not a disadvantage. Too many times last season and the season before that, special teams in terms of punts, not bouncing to the end zone and being touchbacks or missed field goals, can't happen. We need everything to go right because we don't know how the refs are going to be. Given that it's the Green Bay Packers and at their place, we need to be clicking on every cylinder. Yes, it's the first game, but we need everything to go right. So first, we need to pressure Rodgers and collapse the pocket. Jordan Howard must be productive and have a good game. And special teams have to give us an advantage, not a disadvantage.
Very well. All right, Barflies, that's Nelson's 3 keys to victory. We're going to pass it around the room and see what these guys have to say about it. We're going to start off with Ron. Go ahead and take the first key to victory about collapsing the pocket.
What's up, Nelson? Yeah, I think you did a great job. Definitely that's a huge key. We know that Rodgers likes to roll out when he feels that pressure. Sometimes I think he rolls out even if he doesn't feel the pressure because he's so good. He's probably the best to ever do it, to throw on the rollout, throw on the run. So I think it's important that, the guys, if they are coming with pressure, that they maintain their discipline and, set the edge and keep them inside. and they really, just need to control him so he doesn't get outside. And if he does get outside, everybody needs to be super disciplined and hold their coverage. Watch whatever, secondary routes are being run or receivers breaking things off. And that's going to be huge. I mean, we've all seen Rodgers just kill us with, we think we got him. He rolls out. All of a sudden, the safety falls asleep. Chris Conti or some other bum. And the next thing you know, Randall Cobb is running 40 yards down the field, and we're all crying like bitches.
Yeah. The one thing that they won't be able to do this year is that, it's supposed to be blown dead. We'll see. Rodgers is so damn good at it, though. You get the defense to jump offside, and that free play is no longer there this year. The refs are supposed to blow it dead. And we've seen Rodgers kill us with that in the past. Let's go to Nelson's second key of the game. Second key of the game was run the ball, control the clock with a ground attack. Now I think a lot of Barflies and Bears fans alike are going to see that. They're going to want to see this high-powered offense that we've been telling them. But everybody knows you got to control the clock and keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hand in order to take the game away. Nicky, why don't you go ahead and let us know what you think about running the ball, controlling the clock against this Packer team?
Well, like you said, everybody knows that you want to have clock management and keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers. But that's in previous years too. Why not air it out this year?
Wow.
Why not just go all for it? We have the defense to be able to stop Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. However, the smartest thing to do, let's jump on that early lead and then hit that cruise button and then go for it. What's the positives and negatives about that? But as Nelson has explained, it is very important for the clock management and to keep the ball in. You have one of the best running backs in the NFL. And as we say in the bar room, Jordan Howard is an elite running back. And he's not going to be able to be facing these 8-man boxes anymore. So it's going to open up the game for endless opportunities. We might be scoring quickly. It may not be the intention may be just to be running the ball the way it's clocked, but guess what? He may open up that gap when he sees the defense in a different spread formation.
Yeah, I mean, there's other ways. I mean, we can control the clock, too, with little dumps. I'm sure Burton's going to start off with a couple dumps. Cohen's going to get a couple swing passes. Keeping the ball in play, keeping it in bounds, you're still controlling the clock. It doesn't all have to be handoffs, which, I'm sure we all know, but I like it, the ground attack deal. We had Nelson's last key to the victory was controlling the special teams. Jer, I know there's a lot of excitement in the special teams and the new flow this year with kickoffs and that. But go ahead and elaborate on how you think we control the game on special teams, whether it be punt returns, kickoffs, field goals, whatever you got, man. Go ahead.
Hey, good points, Nelson, first of all. Second of all, make them take long fields. Don't give them a short field, If we can punt it, get it inside their 15 and 10. You know who used to be really good at that? Brad Maynard.
Who the hell is that?
Maynard.
Really great at stuffing people inside the 20. I think that's a huge part of it. If we have to punt, I don't think we're going to have to punt too much. She got that feeling. But if we have to kick returns, you got to be disciplined, maintain your lanes. Simple things like that. And for the love of God, if you get the opportunity to score points with field goals, Parkey better connect. That's what you're here for. 4 years and $15 million later, if you start missing field goals, brother, hit it. I don't even want to fucking see you on my field. We'll pick a fucking bum off the street. I don't give a fuck.
That's harsh, man.
All right, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up, and I'm gonna ask all these guys on the show, Nelson, but I want to get your take so we can go ahead and include it in there. Just a couple things I want real quick. So, Jordan Howard, how many rushing yards did he get against the Packers?
Jordan Howard's going to have he's going to have 187.
187?
Wow!
187.
What's this dick in this man?
187. I got 187.
Damn!
Well, 2
Nelson
touchdowns.
just heard that come over a police scatter.
Nelson, that's you know what that is? That's a Packers murder. 187.
Murder, death, kill. All right, Nelson, 187 on Howard. Bears turnovers. How many times we turning the ball over?
How many times we're turning the ball over or them?
Yeah, us. When you're doing it, the next question is how many turnovers do we get? So you can go ahead and feed them into each other.
I say 2 and 2 for both. I do believe that Mitch is going to at least throw a interception, and we're going to have at least one fumble. I feel like sometimes the wide receivers can be a little loosey-goosey with the ball. And as pointed out by Nagy, he did say this is a reactionary game for Mitch. So this is not, he's been in the preseason, he's cowed up a little bit. Okay, he should go out there and he should be okay. This is kind of one of those scenes where he's like, hey, we need everybody healthy. We got some snaps in practice and with joint practice. You know the playbook. We give it to you. Just go out there. If you see a defense change the play, good luck. That's kind of how I look at it based off what he said. And I feel like Mac is not going to have an immediate impact. He will have some, but I really feel like, Aaron Rodgers is going to at least throw us one. He's going to at least toss one up in the air. Eddie might get it. Kyle might get it. Prince is trying to get 10. He might get one. And we're going to get a fumble. We always get fumbles.
Okay.
So,
all right. So
I think it's going to be 2 and 2.
2 and 2. 2 and 2. I got 187, 2 and 2. Next one, Trubisky. How many yards passing?
I will say 230.
230.
I think this game is going to. He has weapons. He has the scheme that goes with it, and that was the biggest thing for me last season. The scheme was not there. He didn't have a hot read. He didn't have anything to let him know what the defense was doing. So he should have at least 230 with at least one touchdown.
230 and 1. And the most important question that I'm sure a lot of us want to see, these monsters come back. How many sacks are we getting on Aaron Rodgers?
3.
3 sacks.
Read my mind.
I like it.
All right, man. We're getting him after him 3 times. So, dude, I wrote it all down. We're going to do it. We'll see where we're getting in trouble now. Hey, on that note, Barflies, this was Nelson's niche. We're going to let Nelson get out of here before he gets in any more trouble. Nelson, take care, man. Listen to the rest of the show, and we look forward to hearing from you for the rest of the season, brother.
Nelson!
All right, you go.
Later, Nelson. Hey, good job, Nelson.
He heard 187. He heard 187, and he's just got fucked up at home. All right, Nelson, brother. Later, man.
He got home.
Killing it.
Hey, so
Nelson's
that shit was hilarious. We pre-recorded, obviously, so we could get Nelson in here, and we'll do it throughout the season. If we're trying to get some Barflies in on the show, can't make it Sunday morning, we'll kick a little pre-recorded. But Nelson's girl or whoever that was came in like, Nelson, what the hell are you doing? And damn, that shit was hilarious, man. Hey, so we're gonna go off the questions real quick that we wrapped up with on Nelson and asked him and pass it around the room to you guys and see what you think. Let's start with Jordan Howard rushing yards. We're just quick through all three of you. We know Diddy's gone. AA, how many rushing yards you got? And remember, I'm writing this shit down. How many rushing yards you got for Jordan Howard today?
I got Jordan Howard with 120 and 35 receiving. David Kaplan, eat your heart out.
35 receiving yards, even though I didn't ask you that, but what the fuck? Go ahead. Hey, Jer, what do you got on rushing yards for Jordan Howard today?
If Howard breaks 100, I think we're going to be great. We're going to be golden, depending on the number of carries,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say 140, 2 touchdowns. Okay. He's in like Finn. It's going to be good shit.
Jer, 140. And Nicky, Bulldog, Howard, rushing yards. How many you got him for today?
All right, you got your pen ready? All right, write these 3 numbers down.
Okay, I'm ready. Here we go.
1, 2, 4.
124 rushing yards. So Nelson's got us all jumped. He's going with that 187 ski.
Well, that's how he got in trouble, man. He heard that and he went ballistic.
I told you he had to have a police scanner with him there in Chicago, and they just called him 187 came in, and he was like, shit, 187. All right.
Murdering fools.
Back the other way. Nicky, Trubisky passing yards. What do you got?
You know what? I'm kind of more so with Nelson this, but I'm gonna go 278. No, you know what? Let's make it an even 280.
280.
Yeah, right. let's just even that motherfucker out, okay?
All right, sounds good. 280. Jared, what you got on Trubisky passing yards?
He's going to go over 300, and he's going to have 2 touchdowns as well. With no picks, he's not turning the ball over. Roll out the motherfucking blowout, because it's coming today, folks. It's happening.
Roll out the blowout.
Roll out the blowout. I love that.
You're going 300 even, or what? I mean, can we get some fucking decisiveness here?
307 and a half.
Jared called out 41 points.
I know he called out 41 points. We're going to get to that here in a little bit. So 307 is what I'm clocking Jared in at. 307. Hey, passing yards. Trubisky, send it.
Trubisky, 298.
298. Damn, we got some big games
today. What the fuck is this? Is this the Price is Right? Everybody's trying to go over or under?
Wait, hold on. Bobby, do you have your pen ready?
Hey, Bob, I'm gonna tell you $1.
9.
Fuck you. 8. Here we go. Turnover.
Did I hear a 9er? Is there a walkie-talkie involved?
Turnovers 4 and against. Hey, coming at you. How many turnovers are we getting?
We are going to force 2 turnovers, and we are going to have 1 turnover.
Okay. Who's our 1 turnover? Or are you just saying 1? I just, maybe.
I think Mitch is going to throw a pick. I do. I don't think it's going to be a backbreaker or anything. I just think he's going to have a little yips, and he's going to throw a pick.
All right. Well, let's just put it like this. Let's say that he throws it, he hits the receiver in the hands, the ball goes up in the air, and that gets picked, and then we don't blame it on Mitch. Jared, turnovers, 4 and against. What do you got?
That's what's gonna happen.
That's the ball washing crew. Jared, what do you got?
Turnovers. We're getting 2 pick sixes, baby. No, we're gonna get 1 pick six. 1 pick six. 1 pick six. One.
And so
we are gonna get another interception. We're going to get 1 interception. We're not turning the ball over today. We're not.
So 2 and none, right?
Yep. And we're going to, like I said, I've already thrown my score out there. I'm on the record. So suck it, Packer fans. All of it. Take every inch.
Damn. Good answer.
Good answer. All right, Nicky, what do you got on turnovers, man?
Man, I thought I was the biggest ball washer in the bar room, man. You guys are giving me a run for my money.
No, Nicky, you just washed the biggest balls, but that's okay. Go ahead. What do you got?
That should mean something to you, man. You know what I'm saying? 1 pick. I think Mitch is going to have that one. Oh, shit. That
that's
one.
Okay.
I think he's going to have that. But I think that we do. I'm going to go with Nelson there, man. I agree with 3 turnovers. I think that we're going to force a fumble. We're going to get at least a pick. But I'm right up there with you. I'm pretty much in agreement, but I'm going to say at least 3. And I'm saying that and I would take the over on that. But 3 is my starting point.
All right. See, now rolling this next one, and this is where I want to see the turnovers happen on this one because I just fucking hate Aaron Rodgers. I want these strip sacks. I want him to fucking be dropping in the pocket, get the ball ripped out of his hands and just sit there in that depressing look that Tom Brady ended the Super Bowl with. Nicky, coming back at you. How many sacks do we get on Aaron Rodgers today?
I'm gonna go with 3 again, man. We're gonna get 1 from Matt, we're gonna get 1 from Hicks, and then we're gonna get 1 from You know what? I'm changing my mind, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going 5.
5 fucking sacks?
5 out there. Yeah, we're getting 5 sacks. Mark that down. The ball walks back. Screw you guys.
Ball's deep in the stack.
Screw you guys for trying to take my title. This is it. It's 5 sacks we're getting on Aaron Rodgers today.
5 sacks. Jared, how many sacks you got?
Okay.
I'll take 3. If we get 3 sacks, and I think you're going to see Hicks is going to get 1. I think Eddie Goldman's going to get 1. And the other one, I'm going to go completely off the reservation. I'm going to go Aaron Lynch. I think Aaron Lynch is going to get 1 today, and he's going to shut everybody up.
Is it going to be a sack, or is Rodgers going to trip over him when he's in the backfield?
I don't care how he does it. I don't care how he does it, as long as he does it, man. That's all that matters.
Hey, I'm just busting the dude's balls. He hasn't been around much. If he comes out and balls out, then fuck, more power to him. But, we haven't seen anything with this signing as of yet. Hey, what you got on sacks, man?
I think 3 or 4. I think Mac is going to play a lot. I think we might see some sacks from the linebackers. I'm kind of suspect of you guys saying Goldman's going to get sacks. That's not really his game. But if we're forcing Rodgers up into the middle, we're doing something right. So you never know. I mean, I think we see that pressure that they're going to have on the edges, which we haven't seen in a long time with Floyd and Mac. So. I mean, that could be a good call. When you guys said that, I thought, Goldman getting sacks? I don't know. But, I mean, if Goldman's getting sacks, that's huge. I mean, if your nose tackle is involved and putting up stats, your defense is usually playing good. So, I think 3 or 4 is definitely the call. Just real quick, I wanted to shout out our boy Greg Braggs in the chat room. We all know him as the training camp hero that brought us all those amazing videos. He asked a great question in the chat room and asked who's going to win the toss. And if you win the toss, what do you do? If the Bears win the toss, do they kick or do they receive? So really good question from G Braggs.
Oh yeah, we'll just pass it around real quick. I mean, if we come out, we win the toss. Are we trying to just drive it down right away, or are we coming out with this defense and trying to make let the Packers come out on offense first? Nicky, what do you think? What's your choice? If you won the toss, and who's to say we might not win the toss? Because the only person that used to win the toss was Glennon, and that bitch is gone. But we win the toss, Nicky. What are you doing? You going on offense or defense first, and why?
Man, I've been flip-flopping about this for like solid 2 days now.
Well,
I've been thinking about this. Hey, it always helps. It kills those brain cells. If we want to come out strong, you got to obviously take the ball on offense. But with our defense, it's Chicago, where monsters live midway. I'm going to defer. I'm deferring to the Packers. If they're I don't mind. I'd rather have the ball at halftime, man. Because one thing that this coaching staff, I believe, is going to be so much better than the previous coaching staff is at adjustments.
Yeah.
We have a long-standing history of not adjusting. Well, no matter who our coach is, even Trestman, nobody can adjust. But I believe that this coaching staff has that opportunity to be able to make those adjustments on offense and defensive sides of the ball. So I'm deferring to let them choose their own fate. It's like, how do you want us to beat you? It all depends. Let's put it on you. You want us to beat you on offense first, or you want us to beat you on defense first?
Yeah, I think it's a good choice. I mean, I can go on either one of them, I guess. But the best, if you end up with the ball right before halftime and you punch it in, and now you get the ball back at halftime, you just have 2 possessions in a row without even having to do anything.
Exactly.
That's a dream for a lot of people, but we'll see how it all ends up. Jared, what are you doing on this coin toss?
Well, I'm glad that you brought Glennon up because his big, goofy, long-ass neck gave him an advantage. But I think we play defense right out of the gate. I think, like you brought it up, 2 possessions. We score late in the second, come out, put the pressure on, score early in the third. The game changes, momentum changes. Pressure's on them because, well, they're already picked to win. We're picked to basically just show up and we're not even playing, according to national media. But guess what? Yeah. When we go up 3 scores, pressure's on, bitches. Game, set, match. Guess what? Suck it, bitches. We're gonna win.
All right. And so that's 2 defers. Jared and Nicky are both deferring. Hey, what are you doing on this coin toss?
I also would defer, but I think Nagy will not do that. I think Nagy will definitely want the ball in the hands of his offense. I think that before the Mac pickup, there would be absolutely no question as to getting the ball first. But I think I mean, I just want to see him get that defense out there. I think, legitimately, because we know nothing about this offense, the defense is a strength on this team. We had, top 10, and now we had Mac. So I want to see the defense get out there and do something, so that's what I would do. But again, I think Nagy being aggressive, he's going to want to see his offense. So we'll see.
I think that's the way it's going to go as well. But I would personally,
I disagree. I think if he's smart, any good coach will want the back-to-back. This is a lot of ifs. Yeah. But any good coach wants that ball to start the second quarter, start the second half. So you can put the pressure, especially if you've got a lead and you can extend it and put the pressure all on Green Bay, that's exactly what you want as a coach.
Yeah, but I see AA's point too with Nagy. Nagy's the offensive mindset, right? He's the head coach. He's going to want the ball first, I think. And I think on the, to go with it, it's giving Trubisky the ball first and coming downfield without there being any points on the scoreboard yet. It may, let him play a little freely, relieve a little pressure, let him come out and earn the first lead instead of, putting pressure on him to make something happen. And the Packers come out and score right away. Now he feels like he's got to come back and do it, and keep.
I don't completely
changes the game plan. It changes the game plan.
Okay, sorry. I don't completely disagree with that idea that he would want that, but as a head coach with an offensive mindset, you've got to know the talent around you, and you've got to know that the defense is ready. If you believe in Vic Fangio and you believe in Mac and you believe in Goldman and you believe in these guys, you got to say, go on, boys, set the tone. That's the way it is.
Yeah. What were you saying, Nikki?
No, I was just saying what you were saying. It just changes their game plan. They defer. Green Bay comes out. They score. It's going to change their offensive game plan then.
Yeah, we'll see. And you guys, we're playing away. So do you want the crowd? You know how Lambeau gets. Do you want the crowd to get involved right away if the Packers come out and score? Or are you going to try to come out and silence the crowd and get your own points and get some points of your own right off the bat? He's got another question for us from the chat room. Hey, what do you got?
Just the chat room's weighing in on this question. Chris Armstrong, we all know her from the Deep Thoughts segments on the other shows. She mentions that history shows that when we defer, Green Bay goes up 7-0.
Yeah.
So interesting point there. You don't want to go down. G. Bragg says Rodgers is known to jump out 7-0, 14-0, leads in the first quarter on us, see NFC Championship. So,
Barflies are smart.
Maybe we want to take the ball. Chris Armstrong says take the ball. Phil says defense. So, interesting. I really think Nagy's going to take the ball. I just think that's his nature. He can't wait to get that big Denny's menu out and start dialing up some moons over my hammy and all types of wild stuff that he's been cooking up in the basement.
Hey, you haven't had breakfast yet this morning?
Yo, I've had no breakfast. I've had coffee and ibuprofen. The breakfast of champions.
Hey, so here's what we're gonna do, Barflies, and it's straight on the honor system. Before kickoff, everybody's going to pour themselves a shot. And if you're choosing offense and we go defense, you take your shot. If we're choosing defense and you go offense, you take your fucking shot anyway. But either way.
Can I just take a shot either way?
Yeah, you get to take 2 shots, Nikki. You can pour 2. Yeah. All right, let's keep this thing rolling. We got another little thing we're going to do here called Burgers and Bulldog Bar Fights, where Lil Nicky and AA are going to tell you which player from the other team, if they seen him in the bar, they would like to just smack the shit out of him if they got the fucking chance. Now, we know how Chicago rolls. You see Aaron Rodgers in a bar, whatever. I'll just leave it up to you guys. Nicky, go ahead and start. Who's the Bulldog beating the shit out of first?
I was going to let AA take the first hit on this one, but I'll take it. You know what? I think he's gonna go for the most obvious choice. So
I mean, number one, this is hilarious because from what I've seen, you're short as hell, and I know I'm short as hell. So in reality, we ain't. But it's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of fight in the dog, right?
In the dog,
right. So
hard.
I mean, I'm going with which is probably the obvious is Clay Matthews.
Dick.
I'm taking him. I'm grabbing that stupid hair and I'm just pulling him down, and I'm getting a couple of shots with my feet in, and I'm moving. But in reality, I like to see Khalil Mack punch Bakhtiari in the face a couple times because. I think Balaga and Bakhtiari are going to have a long day, and in the real game, that's going to be a fight that I want to see.
All right, hype man, you got Lil Nicky in the background hyping this fight up. He's talking shit, waiting for AA to smack somebody. Nicky, who you creeping in and fucking sucker punching?
Well, I just screwed myself.
Well, congratulations.
I thought you were totally going right.
There's nothing new there with that, is there, Nicky?
That's why that shit's all over your phone. Go ahead. What do
you got? They don't understand what the hell you're talking about right now.
I know they don't. It's okay.
Well, explain it.
Nicky's phone is dirty as fuck.
It's almost like he had a wreck with it or something.
Hey.
All right, Nicky, who you sucker punching on the Packers? Who you going to get?
Oh, Double A took my Clay Matthews. I think everybody in Chicago wants to punch Clay Matthews in the face.
I mean, we could break his nose again.
We could. I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers then, man. I want to see somebody get right up on him. I'm gonna go up right up to him. A little guy talking shit to a big guy. We're gonna roll in on that one, man.
Dude, I'm really hoping for this game.
Comebacks.
I'm really hoping for this game that Vic put in a NASCAR package, and we just confuse Rodgers, yell at NASCAR, and he thinks something about Danica. We just get in and fucking smash his ass.
Another left. Another turn.
There could be some interesting role play going on in the Danica and Aaron Rodgers bedroom there. You know what I mean? A little NASCAR action, a little pit stop, a little drafting. You never know what might go on.
Hey, dye your hair blonde and wear 52 for me.
All right, for those of you in MixLR, we're gonna be coming at you shortly with Tune in the Gooch and little fantasy football stuff. So if you got some fantasy football segments or questions, that you have, some start and sit, you got questions about your own fantasy team, start blasting them into the chat room so we can get your questions into these guys. First, we're going to hit some game predictions, though. And we're going to go into our own little game predictions and NFC North predictions. We'll get to the Pony Pick'em, but we're just going to cover down on the NFC North right now. So game predictions, we'll save the Bears for the end. Let's start with Niners and Vikings. AA, who are you taking in the Niners versus the Vikings?
I'm taking the Vikings. I think their defense is going to be much improved. You got Dalvin Cook coming back. I think Cousins will fit in there. I think later on he may have some issues. We've never really seen him win a big game, but I'm definitely taking the Vikings in that.
Okay, he's taking the Vikings. Let me jot this down. Jared, so for the Barflies, at the end of the season, we're going to tally together all these wins and losses. And so whoever's got the worst record is going to have some sort of punishment. And feel free to go ahead and offer up your suggestions for the punishments here. And what you think which one of us is going to have to do. I already have Diddy's picks already, and I'll tell them you guys are all done. Jared, what you got?
I was hoping we'd get a little for the season to start with Diddy. Just get a head start.
No, I got
with the Niners and Vikings.
Earlier. Niners, Vikings.
Oh, Kirk Cousins, man, he can throw you into a game and he can throw you right out of one. I hate Jimmy Garoppolo. I just do. Just because of the whole shit with him and us. I'm going to take the Vikings, even though I hate the Vikings. I think they'll win pretty convincingly. The defense, although it's aging and they're going to get exposed by us, they're going to win today.
Gotcha. Nicky, who do you got? Niners versus the Vikings.
Well, in lieu of opening week, I will not pick an NFC North team except for my Bears. So Niners are going to win this.
Niners.
It's okay. I like punishment.
We've heard that before.
Well, Nicky, I took the Niners too, man. I'm thinking the Niners are going to come out. I think the Vikings, I mean, they paid that money. They made the move for Cousins, but I honestly think that they had a better thing in Keenum, man. And I think they let him walk out the door, and we'll see what happens here. So for you Barflies and that, I'm taking the Niners in an upset here, and hoping that they can show some flaws with this Vikings defense. All right, Nicky, who you got on Lions versus the Jets?
Told you I'm not picking an NFC North team. Jets.
Jets. Jets.
Well, let's not push it.
Let's not push it.
JT.
All right, that's it. You're just taking the Jets because you don't want the NFC North to win, or what?
That is my exact reasoning. If I was playing it intelligently and not from my heart, it might be a different outcome, but JETS.
All right. Jerry, who are you taking between the Lions and the Jets?
My heart says Jets, but my brain says Lions.
Okay.
Stafford's just too... He's way better than anything the Jets have.
What does Trey call him?
I hate the Lions too. So, but yeah, I'm picking the Lions today.
Yeah, Trey calls him Stat Papford because all he does is pad stats.
Yeah.
It is.
He knows all about pads.
All right, hey, who are you taking? The Lions versus the Jets, man.
I think you got to take the Lions at home. Darnold is in his first start. I think he's probably going to play pretty well. I'm definitely not sold on Patricia. The Belichick coaching tree has been pretty barren in terms of people seeing success. So I don't really look to them to have a great year. But I think opening up at home versus the Jets, you gotta take the Lions.
Okay, I did the same thing, man. I took the Lions against the Jets. I mean, the Jets haven't been too impressive. We'll see how they roll out with their acquisitions this offseason and their rookie quarterback. But I took the Lions also. And Diddy went ahead. He had the Vikings, the Lions, and the Bears. Granted, it's the first game of the season.
That puts me in a position to beat all you guys.
Puts the only loss being from the Packers, obviously. I would hope, but let's see. Any of you guys got the Packers actually winning today, AA?
Hang up if you do.
Man, I'm not going to pick the Packers. What kind of fool do you think I am? I'm not picking the Packers.
Game one? No.
Yeah.
No,
we know Jared called the 41 to whatever victory, and Nicky's just fucking, we already know Nicky. Nicky's picking. The Bears are winning every fucking game this season with Nicky. So we're down.
Fucking A.
I think Bears 30, Packers 20.
30-20. Okay. Well, I wasn't going to go scores, but fuck it. Jared, what was yours? You had 41 to what?
Oh, I had Bears 41. Yes, you heard it here first, folks. Bears 41. Packers 17.
Packers 17?
17. Barely even watching. They just might as well stay home.
Okay. Well, that's where they're at. We're going to their house. Nicky.
Taking them. We're going to own their house.
Nicky, scoreboards don't go to triple digits, but you can do whatever you want, man.
If they went to triple digits, that's where it'd be at, man. No, realistically, I'm going to go probably let's go 30, 32, 17.
32-17, Bears. All right, we got Bears all around. I'm pretty interested to see if any of the Barflies in the chat room are not staying with their heart, and for some reason they're going ahead and picking the Packers. So
whoa, what? Going with their head, dude. Let's be real.
Yeah,
dude.
if they're going to try to explain somehow that the Packers are going to win, I want to hear why. So we got everybody.
Is that really using your brain though? I don't think that's using your brain.
All right, before we kick off this season and get this game started today, let's go with overall season predictions. I mean, we know what the team looks like. We know, we don't know what we're going to see on offense, but we know what the team looks like, and we know what we got ourselves into. Let's go ahead and give me season predictions. Jer, give me a little explanation and season predictions of how you think the Bears are going to fare this year.
Well, like I've said to you guys privately, I thought 8-8 and 9-7 would be a great goal with the acquisition of Mac. I think
the Macquisition.
The Macquisition. I think that should be more of a floor. I think 8-8 and 9-7 is a floor.
Okay.
I'd like to see us go 11-5. And
11-5.
From worst to first. And we're going to take the division. And I'm not trying to be a ball washer there. I really believe that with the pieces that we've got on offense and the pieces we've added on defense, I really believe that we have a great shot at least 11-5.
Yeah, with the pieces that we've added and the coaching that we've added, we just need something to throw us over the top. The last couple of years, I mean, we've had, I want to say it's like both years collectively, it's been like 6 to 7 games each year that we've lost by less than a touchdown. If these guys that we've got can go ahead and throw us over the top, we're going to see a lot more wins, stacking up in that column for the Bears. Hey, season predictions, Bears, hit it.
All right. I predicted this on March 16th. That's pinned to my profile on Twitter, AARONTOR, @AaronTor, 11-5.
Nice plug.
I think that we do it, I picked that a while back. I liked the way the offseason was going. I think, teams frequently go from worst to first. I don't know if 11-5 necessarily wins the division. I think it should, but I think there's going to be a lot of good teams. I think the Vikings are going to be right up there. I think the Packers, I don't know if they're going to be 11-5, but I think it should win the division. And yeah, I liked the direction we were headed before Khalil Mack, so I'm sticking with my guns. And if you just look at, we're beating Seattle, we're beating the Jets, we're beating the Bucks, we're beating the Cardinals, we're beating the Dolphins. We play a lot of trash teams if you really look at it. I think the Giants are going to be improved, but I still think we beat them. You're going to have Phil in the crowd and the Motts and everybody cheering him on. I think even B.Diddy's going to that game.
Yeah, I'm going to that game too.
So, yeah, there's going to be so many Barflies in the crowd, the Giants aren't going to know what hit them. So, I think 11-5, I'm sticking with it.
MetLife's drunk tank is going to be stacked that night.
For real.
We're all being brought in to sleep it off. Phil, you better have enough fucking bail money for all of us, man. Nicky, season predictions. What do you got for these Bears?
Man, I've been on the seesaw on this for a couple months now, between 10-6 and 11-5, and that's before the addition of Khalil Mack. So, okay. I can't see us winning less than 10 games. I'm going 11-5.
11-5 all around.
There's so many teams that are, and there's so many media. We're still supposed to be placing last in our division. I think we're just gonna be way too underestimated, and our offense is just coming out where nobody knows what's going to be happening. We're in for prizes and shock. I think we're doing 11-5, making the playoffs.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna roll. So I'm rolling with 10-6, man. I'm going with 10-6. I think the Vikings secure the North, but I think we get in on a damn wild card. I think the NFC North is going to be a pretty strong division. I know everybody just says the Vikings, and of course the Packers somehow always are said to make it. I mean, granted, they've showed it. Besides last year, like we said earlier, it's been 10 years since they hadn't made the playoffs. Last year was the first time in 10 years. So, I mean, they're a team that just always finds a way in. But I'm going to go with 10-6.
North.
Go ahead.
Well, I think the NFC North is going to be the best division in football this year.
I mean, it has a strong chance. We know the Lions are going to be in games. They're just not going to win them. Aaron Rodgers is like that. Yeah. I mean, they're going to be in games. They're just not going to win. Rodgers is going to pull some magic out of his ass like he always does and put some wins together. I mean, last year, I know we said that last year was the first year, but they didn't even have Rodgers. I think Rodgers only played 7 games last year. Played 7 games last year, and they didn't make the playoffs. Like, it's not a big surprise. You take him off of that team, and I don't think anybody says they make the playoffs with Brett Hundley. A good thing, though, which was uncommon for Rodgers last year, 7 games, the dude threw 6 picks. That's not really, what he's been doing. So hopefully maybe that's a little downhill slide for us, to see Rodgers do, and we can go ahead and get on top of that and take advantage of him now without those wide receivers and what they got going on.
We got some hot takes in the chat room, boys.
All right, what do we got? Send it.
Yes.
Julius AireJer. Whatever you want. Test schedule no 11-5 from Julius AireJer. 8-8, 9-7 at best with an outside shot at a wild card. Let's see. Hairbear, I believe you said that we should go 10-6 and win a wild card position. Chris Armstrong, 12-4, bitches. 12-4. I like that. I like Chris Armstrong. I don't know about Julius there, man. We gotta get you back on the shit.
Well, I honestly was going 8-8 prior to the Mac acquisition and all that, and I think Mac puts us 2 games ahead. Personally, with pressure, with I don't know, tip balls, turnovers, strip sacks. I think he was good enough in my mind to give us 2 more games. What else we got in the chat room? Any other predictions of seasons here?
Let's see. I think Chachi put something in there. Let me find it.
Somebody named
Chachi.
Father Crime says 2 wasted to agree, 12-4. Father Crime coming in hot.
As every good father.
Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Sunday morning.
Chachi at Frankie Myers. The only team that the Packers will beat in the NFC North is the Lions. The Vikings and the Bears will sweep them all. My call. I like it, Chachi.
Ooh, sweep everybody in the NFC North?
Chachi's going hot.
I'm loving it.
Chachi don't give a fuck. He's like Honey Badger.
Jerry loves Chachi. Games report says 11-5. 85 Bears with me says 10-6. Shy Bears Plus says 12-4. And Trubisky is taking Danica by week 2.
Nice. Division, and then he takes your kind of girl. I can't really call her that. Sorry.
Man. All right, fellas, that's the season predictions, the season wrap-ups. You guys hold us to it. We'll post it and pin it on the Barfly Twitter page so you guys can talk shit. Maybe we'll go a little in depth on our own and tell you who we think is gonna, or which games we're gonna win and which games we're gonna lose, which is probably a little tougher than just saying what you think your overall prediction is gonna be. Barflies, hopefully you've been sending them questions into the chat room for this fantasy football that we got going. We're going to invite in the Tooch and the Goon and get us a little fantasy football start and sit 'em, some fantasy updates, maybe some sleepers that we got going. And then, once the time comes, I know a lot of the injuries are already out on who's not playing today, but there's still some that are questionable. We'll see if these guys can tighten the lid on that for us. Tooch, Goon, you around, man? You guys there?
I'm here.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here.
Nice.
Hey, don't we have a surprise for them, Bobby?
Yeah.
We do.
Tooch and the Goon.
We'll hit that later. Tooch, Goon, what's going on, fellas? How you guys doing
I'm
today?
calling from the Philippines, and it's 11 at night here. I'm calling from the future. The Bears have already won, and all your predictions.
Perfect. Let me get these Vegas bets in. What was the final score? What do you got, Tooch?
It's like Jer's pick right on.
41-17, Bears victory. You heard it from the future. You heard it from Tooch.
Got no reception. Yep, calling from
Holy
the future.
smokes.
You guys are still going to watch the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course we are. I'm sure many of you know
I didn't mean to
Tooch and the
spoil it.
Goon. Tooch and the Goon run the Fantasy Football Goon podcast that you can find here at Bears Bar Room.
That's right.
Great insight on players, great insight on who you should, pick up, some of their sleepers and that. Let's go ahead and roll with some of these Barfly questions on who they think that, or some questions that they have that players they might want to start and sit.
Actually, I have a personal question on that.
All right, go ahead, hit it.
All right, man.
What do you got?
The easiest question I got for you is, welcome to the Le'Veon Bell hell that it is. If you did not secure James Conner, is there anybody worth picking up on the free agent wire that maybe you can get something out of?
Yeah, for me, man, I think the number one guy that's available right now has got to be James White for New England. He is a PPR machine, and I think since he's not drafted in the majority of leagues, you can go and pick him up right now.
Well,
What
for
do you
that
think-
league that we all play against each other in, man, we just screwed ourselves because they're all running to pick them up right now. Hey,
You think Sony Michel's gonna do anything for the Patriots? I see him go kind of high. I picked him kind of higher than I really felt like I probably should have, but I've taken a flyer on him. Sony Michel, what do you think?
I mean, they
Later in the season.
Yeah, I think Tooch is right. Later in the season, I think right now, you got Rex Burkhead, you got James White, and you got Michelle all getting targets. And I think right now the only one you can really trust is White because he's going to be working in that passing game. I would wait and see because Tooch, what do you always say about Bill Belichick?
Bill Belichick hates fantasy football.
And he kind of hates rookies too.
Yes, he does.
I think he just hates people.
Yeah, he definitely just hates people.
So, guys, with my fantasy football leagues, I normally defense. I kind of rotate them out.
Sure.
What do you think on that? What do you think on that concept of, dropping defenses, picking up other defenses, depending on who they're playing and when? Or are you guys more of a stick with the one defense throughout the year and go from there?
I do that. I did that today.
Okay.
Drop my defense. I haven't even started yet to pick another matchup. So.
Yeah.
And last year I stumbled into the Jaguars, so it can work for anybody.
I normally stream mine, but I got my Bears, so I am not streaming my defense this year.
There you go.
Yeah, I think.
Is someone feeling the pressure from Julio putting 33 on him?
Somebody is.
That's me.
I like to play
me.
defense with the defense and see who's coming up that's got a bye for their defense and pick up the defense that I think they're going to pick up before they can do it.
There you go.
So you ruin other people's fantasies.
And then sometimes I'll just drop them just to fuck them on the waiver too.
That's called the dick move.
It's called cock blocking fantasy style.
Now, if any of you guys out there are looking for a defense, if you're looking for a defense to pick up this week, if you want to streamline, the Detroit Lions defense is a great pickup. They're going against Sam Darnold, a rookie, getting his first start for the Jets. And I expect there to be a handful of turnovers in that game. So Detroit Lions, a great streaming defense for this week.
Yeah, I took the Titans as my good streaming defense this week against Ryan Tannehill coming back after missing one season. He never was really any good anyways, so picked up the Titans. I like
in that game, Devontae Parker is hurt. I just read.
Yeah, he's doubtful to play today, so I would be surprised if he plays at all. So look for I would look for Danny Amendola to have a big role in that game.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Kenny Stills in that game, man.
Those two guys, yep.
Yeah, Kenny Stills is definitely a sleeper in that game. I looked earlier in my one. Somebody already had him picked up because I was going to drop him in as a flex because there was the Will Fuller that was questionable.
What do you think is going to happen with the Jets backfield with Powell and Crowell? Do you think it's going to be a pain in the ass all year? Or is somebody going to jump out?
I think it's a pain in the ass all year. Last year it was a pain in the ass. And Crowell and Powell are both great backs, but I don't think we're going to be able to predict which one goes off each week.
See, Crowell's hurt. So, I mean, Bilal Powell, really good receiver out of the backfield. So, for PPR, I like Bilal Powell over the long run. And then, of course, Crowell will probably sprinkle in there. You know, they paid a lot of money, so.
Yeah, we'll get to sleepers here in a minute because I got a question on some sleepers, but why don't you guys go ahead? We'll start with, however you guys want to do it. But we'll start with quarterbacks. Who's your fantasy stud this week in quarterbacks? Whether somebody's playing DraftKings or somebody's, got their own fantasy league going. Who's one fantasy stud quarterback that you think is just going to kill it this week?
Well, I tell you, I think it's hands down Tom Brady. I expect him to kind of rain down all over the Houston Texans today. So if you can get him in DraftKings or daily fantasy, whatever his price is, I think it's worth it because I think they're going to light up that secondary. So if you have him on your fantasy team, you're starting him too. So Tom Brady's definitely the guy to start this week.
Do you see that as a little redemption since they lost to the Texans last year, or do you think it's just Tom Brady coming out first game of the season and lighting it up?
I think it's both. I think he's just looking to come out. He's got a lot to prove. He doesn't have a lot of weapons right now. I think he's going to make everybody pay.
Okay, who do you got as your stud quarterback this week?
I'm going to go with Jared Goff against that weak Raiders secondary. And all the weapons that Jared Goff has, like Todd Gurley out of the backfield, Cooks, Cooper Kupp in the slot. Yeah. And then, of course, Robert Woods, and they have two pretty good tight ends as well. And the Raiders, I just think, may be, flirting with 0-16 this year.
Ooh, with a $100 million coach, they're flirting with 0-16. That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, afraid so.
Of course, Nicky chimed in with a little chat, said Trubisky's his. But I'm pretty sure we know how this is going to work out. All right, let's jump to halfbacks. Who's your we'll start with the Goon again. Who's your fantasy stud halfback that you think same deal, DraftKings or people got him on their team? Who's your stud halfback for today?
Yeah, my stud running back for the day is definitely Alex Collins with the Baltimore Ravens. He's got a great opportunity. When he was given the opportunity last season, he was just an absolute monster. Now he's the lead dog, and he gets to go against a Bills defense that gave up almost 125 rush yards per game last season. So look for Alex Collins to tear it up, and if you have him on your regular fantasy team or on daily fantasy, he's a guy you want to roll with.
Yeah, that might even be. I mean, I know a lot of people don't know who Alex Collins is. That might actually be a player that comes across pretty cheap in DraftKings.
Yeah, he is.
That you can get at a lower price and kind of build your team that way. Tooch, who do you got on this halfback fantasy stud?
Man, I'm going with the guy that's going to give Aldo a chubby. I'm going with Royce Freeman of the Broncos against that weak Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
Royce Freeman, man, this guy's got the look of a feature back, a bell cow back. I love this kid.
Nice. Royce the 5'9". Although you must have Royce on your team, huh? I don't think I'm playing you this week. Otherwise, I wouldn't know.
Yo, Bobby Phelan with Royce the 5'9" shout out. I love that.
You like that? All right, so let's move it on to wide receivers. Tooch, let's start with you. Wide receivers, obviously, Julio's already led it up. But give us your top fantasy stud wide receiver.
Man, I'm going to stick with the Broncos here and go with Manny Sanders. I love this kid. He's great route runner, and he's perfect for Case Keenum. I like him to get some great PPR points and a score or two. And then I love Cooper Kupp in the slot against that weak Raiders defense.
Yeah, man. Cooper Kupp Cooper Kupp's something special, man. I think him and Goff had shown some chemistry last year, and I think he's really going to come out and kill it this year. Goon, who do you got as your fantasy stud wide receiver?
I think this week Keenan Allen's going to absolutely light up the Kansas City Chiefs. Phillip Rivers looks his way all the time. and he's just one of the fastest receivers in the slot. He's got great hands, and if he's getting targeted, he's going to have probably 20, at least 30 points in this game. So if you have Keenan Allen, go and get him in daily fantasy, and if you're starting him, you're going to get a lot of points out of him today.
Yeah, I got 4 teams going this year, and I got him on 2 of them. And he actually wasn't I think I got him in like the 5th round in some of them. Just not a lot of people, they like the big names, and then from there, if they don't see a name that they know, they try to fill it with something else. And Allen sat there a little too long, I thought, in most of these fantasy drafts this year.
Yeah.
5th round?
Yeah, that's a great value. That's great value if he went that late. That's insane.
Phenomenal value.
Yeah. Who was your second one? Sorry, man. I know you had Keenan Allen. You got a second wide receiver?
Yeah, my second wide receiver to really watch today is Jarvis Landry. He's a target machine for the Browns, and Pittsburgh's defense, they're good, but they leave it open in the middle, and Landry likes to work out of the slot a lot. I think he's going to get a lot of targets and probably score at least one time. So that's going to be a fun game to watch, and Jarvis Landry's a great play all year long.
Yeah, agreed, man. Jarvis Landry, I know there was a lot of talk in the season. Some Bears fans wanted him, some didn't. We see how it all panned out, but we'll go from there and see what we got this year. Yeah. Let's move to the tight end position real quick. Who's the top tight end, Goon? Who do you think the top tight end for this fantasy week is?
The top tight end that I have for this week is Rob Gronkowski. I mentioned that I think Tom Brady's going to have a great day, and I think that's a lot to do with Gronk. Huge target over the middle, and Gronk, he doesn't have a whole lot of weapons right now. Besides Gronk, and you got Philip Dorsett, and it's you're a little limited right now. Cordarrelle Patterson. So look for Gronk to have a huge game today. Probably going to have at least 6 catches and a touchdown. So look for Gronk to explode.
Yeah, I like what you guys are saying because I got a lot of these players on my team. It's making me feel better about my draft. Dude, who do you got on this tight end starting this week?
Man, I'm going to go with Tyler Eifert in a return against the bad Colts linebacking core.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's capable of putting up a touchdown a game. Great in the red zone. I like the Bengals to upset the Colts this week.
Yeah, and I think all of us, I know there's some bitter, I think some people want Luck to end up on his back today because some bitter guard talk that was discussed this season, this offseason. Now, before we roll into the flex, I know we talked about defense already. We'll get to that too. But before we roll into the flex, a question was posed earlier. I don't remember who did it. But in a flex scenario, is there ever a time where you put a halfback in as your flex, or do you strictly stick with wide receivers?
Oh, yeah. I got one for you this week, Bobby.
Go
I'm
ahead.
going to take Chris Thompson on the Redskins. I think they'll be playing from behind. This guy's great out of the backfield with the receptions. I like, to get a lot of targets and a lot of PPR points. Maybe score a touchdown late.
Dude, I don't know if you guys are actually looking at my fantasy team because I have Thompson also. But maybe that question from the bar room was from me. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, dude. What do you got on the whole? Do you pose or do you put a halfback in a flex position, or do you stick with a wide receiver?
I actually sometimes prefer to have a halfback in that position. It depends either way. If your guy's getting a lot of targets and you're in a PPR league, then I'm fine with either one. But I think the best of both worlds, if you're looking for a guy who's a running halfback and has that receiving capability, I think Duke Johnson's a good pickup to do that for a flex role. He's been super consistent the last few years, and he's a good option to be a good flex.
He's on Bobby's team, right?
Dude, he is. Go look.
I personally like putting a wide receiver in my flex position.
Dude, he's on my team, and he's in the flex right now.
I like doing the whole 3 wide receivers, man. I'm a big wide receiver guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a flex question for you that I can tell you right off. I got Crabtree, Crowell, or Matt Breida with the injury to Jet McKinnon. Who would you pick in that flex spot?
Oh, man, I'm taking Crabtree all day.
Yeah, same here. I like Crabtree. He's the number one guy there, and they're going to look his way often.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Crabtree start dropping balls this year. It's going to be super exciting.
See, that's a loaded question because I'm going against Tooch. So,
yeah. Well, let me tell you mine in my brother's league. All right, here's my lineup in my brother's league. Okay, it's Trubisky at quarterback, AB wide receiver, Mike Evans, Melvin Gordon, Tariq Cohen, Ben Watson, Allen Robinson. Those are my starters. And then I got Derrick Henry sitting on my bench.
Ball washer.
Hey, this ball washer is going to be kicking some ass this season.
You better hope for 41 points.
Oh, we going to get them.
Yeah.
You know, another what you call riding or dying.
You know, another good player I think that has kind of gone under the radar, especially with the suspensions over there in New Orleans. Michael Gillislee. I seen him still sitting around. I think the Saints, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they only have Kamara right now, right? Because of the suspension. So
that's about it. You got him and Gillislee, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
they picked someone up today or yesterday. Sorry, I'm calling from the future, so you guys don't know this stuff. I'm kidding you. They did pick up somebody. I forget who it is. It's a big back. Damn it.
They just picked up Gillislee, though, I think.
Yeah, Gillislee, and there's another guy who's going to split time with Gillislee. I just can't remember offhand who it is. Crap. Can we effort that, Joe?
Yeah, I'm looking into it right now.
All right, pretty soon we're gonna come at you with the start and sit questions out of the chat room. So AA, if you can draw up some of them questions and have them ready. Let's finish this thing up with your defensive fantasy studs. Who's your must-start defense this week?
My must-start defense of the week is the Baltimore Ravens. I think they have a really good opportunity to put up a whole darn lot of points. So if you have the Baltimore Ravens, you are absolutely starting them this week. They're a really good defense on top of it, and then they get to lick their chops going against the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe stole mine there against Nathan Peterman, the guy who threw 6 interceptions in one game last year. Love the Ravens.
You should start him. You should start him, Tooch.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings against Jimmy G in the Roller Dome. I love the Vikings defense in this one, so that's a good matchup for the Vikings.
Vikings D and the Ravens D. Let's move over to the chat room real quick. AA's getting us some questions, and just to bust your guys' balls a little bit, I went ahead and I did a little jingle for for your. I gotta think. I'm just gonna sing it on the spot because I didn't pre-record it. I don't.
Radio gold coming.
I don't think we have it pre-recorded.
No, we don't.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna sing it on the spot. So hold up, let me go ahead. Get this stretched out and clear my throat a little bit, and remember how it goes. All right, so here we go. And there's no jingle behind it. You're just gonna have to wait. So it goes like this. It's Coon and the Tooch, Tooch and the Coon, 2 dudes with a fantasy in a bar room. Ain't saying it's gay, but it could be a bit. They're about to tell you who to start and sit. Yeah.
Nice. Love it.
Podcast gold.
Tooch and the Goon.
All right, come at him with some start and sit questions from the Barflies in the chat room. Barflies, who you trying to get? Who you confused about on your team today? What are the best matchups for you? Send the questions in. AA.
We got a question from Jeremy, starting Olsen or Eifert, Greg Olsen or Tyler Eifert.
Well, that's actually a great question because Greg Olsen came up on the injury report yesterday, so he's questionable today with a back injury. But all reports coming out are saying that he's going to play. It's not official yet, but if Greg Olsen plays, absolutely roll with Olsen. He's one of Cam Newton's favorite targets, and he's a PPR monster.
And I guess AireJer is asking about a flex position here, Crowell or Crabtree. I'm not sure if you already hit that.
Yeah, we hit that one.
Okay, you hit that. And then we have there's not that many questions coming in right now. I was going to ask a question. I'm not sure if you mentioned this already, but what do you think about the 49ers running back situation with Jerick McKinnon being hurt, and who's going to step up and take that role?
I really think
long term, I like Alfred Morris.
See, Tooch and I differ. Tooch loves Alfred Morris. I think Matt Breida's the guy. He's way more talented than Morris. He's just dealing with a little bit of an injury right now. He is going to play today. Personally, I think long term it's Breida, but I guess it depends what the coaching staff over there thinks. But I'm going with Breida.
I like Morris because he fits that zone running scheme that San Francisco runs. I think you're going to see him be the play. He's a good goal line player too. And the player that the Saints signed as running back is Jonathan Williams. I think he was on the Bills last year.
Yeah, it's a prior Panthers,
He's a
right?
big back as well. Pretty good player.
We got Shane in the chat room. Shane, the smartest man in the bar room, who notoriously does not play fantasy.
Right.
He is in a fantasy league though of crappy Bears blogs. So he's asking who should we start, Aaron Lemming or the Bears blog? In your crappy Bears blog fantasy leagues, which I know you all have out there.
I'll go with Napoleon Dynamite, Aaron Lemming.
Are the Bears Bros an option?
They are.
All right, guys. I have a question for you. How do you guys handle injury reports whenever they come out? To you, is questionable basically they're playing, or from an analysis standpoint, are you leery about running that guy?
I'm leery about it because injury reports changed the last year. So like questionable, it's really kind of like this middle ground that it doesn't really tell you much. So I think you have to watch like insiders like Adam Schefter and some of those guys. They'll kind of give you an idea of who's going to play and who's not. And questionable guys, you really have to watch up until a little bit before game time. So, like a guy like Josh Gordon was questionable with a hamstring up until a few minutes ago, and now he's been removed from the injury report, and he's expected to start today.
Yeah. So I got a question on that. So a guy who's questionable, right? If they're say that team's going against a weaker defense or whatever, and you know that like they're going to get off to a good start, do you not play this guy because once that team's got a good lead, do you think that they're going to pick him out to keep him healthy, or do you just go ahead and roll with it and think that he's going to play the whole game and go from there?
Yeah, you got to roll with it. I mean, if anytime you got a bad defense and your guy's going against them, you got to feast on it because this guy's going to get targeted, he's going to score, and that's what you want. That's it. Oh, and.
With those questionable injuries in my flex position, that way you can flex in somebody no matter what. If you get towards really close to game time, and then 5 minutes before game time, you're watching, you're seeing, hey, so and so's out, then flex somebody else in. So that's what
we got. Aldo pointed out we got another question in the chat room from Jeremy. Sammy Watkins or Jordy Nelson at wideout?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. That's two rough matchups there, but I think I'd have to say Sammy Watkins too. Jordy Nelson has got a really hard matchup, and I think Watkins has got the better matchup. Do you agree?
Yeah, two good cornerbacks in Los Angeles. I expect a lot of points in the Chargers and Chiefs game, so I'm going to roll with Sammy Watkins and try and get a piece of that big scoring game.
Nice.
Shane's coming in hot again, and he says Trubisky or Andy Dalton. Who do you think? I think if you're in that position, you did some weird drafting.
You're losing life if that's your quarterback.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Hey,
I'm starting True.
Yeah, that's Nicky's team right there. Nicky's team.
I
am starting Trubisky today.
I'll take Trubisky over the Red Rocket.
Yeah, I like Trubisky's running ability, so I'll take Trubisky.
I like everything about Trubisky.
Was that supposed to be dead AireJer, or was that really you? I love Trubisky. I want his biscuit. Hey guys, so looking at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay and Jameis is sitting. He's suspended the first couple games. Yep. What impact does that put on O.J. Howard, on Evans? On the receiver core? What impact does that put on people who drafted these guys high, thinking that they'd have a slinger back there to get the ball to them?
Personally, I don't think. Go for it.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
This week, the matchup against the Saints for guys like Mike Evans, the Saints have a good secondary. Guys like Marshawn Lattimore, he's going to be covering Mike Evans. So I love Mike Evans. He's a target machine. I just don't like his matchup this week. And then as far as the Buccaneers, Ryan Fitzpatrick's a veteran. He could still come in and throw a bunch of picks, but this year he's starting the season rather than coming in off the bench. So I don't think he'll do as poorly as we think, although this matchup in the Superdome is not ideal. So, I'm definitely not starting Fitzpatrick. I think this is probably a game to look for the tight ends like Brayton and Howard. So I think you're right on, Bobby.
Okay. What you got, Goon? What do you think about? Is it a real big fall off between Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick, or is it just no impact?
Yeah, I don't think there's any impact at all. I think this is just a game that because they're going against a good defense that, then you got to watch out for the guys a little bit. But I think it doesn't affect where you got them in the draft. So I think I'm going to try to stay away from as many Bucs this week as I can, and then pick it right back up next week.
Okay. All right, so let's keep this thing moving, and we'll feel free, AA or Jer, that are in the chat. Nikki, I know you're in the chat too. If any other questions pop up, feel free to fire away and get them in here. But,
Shane's on fire.
Yeah,
Shane's on fire.
I think that I'm already missing John Fox a little bit. I think the season is started. We're talking about injuries, and I'm already missing the John Fox injury reports that he would give, where he would just be like, "Well, everybody's hurt right now, and we're all just trying to play football, and we're all just gonna go out there, and I had a monkey as a child, and it died, and we'll talk about that injury later, and we're gonna play and we're gonna win." I just really miss that guy.
I'm so glad we have Nagy.
Question coming in from Frankie Myers. How does wind affect how you play your players? I guess there's a 25-mile-an-hour wind expected in the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game.
Yeah. Yep.
Does that affect how you play? Do you roll out Josh Gordon? Do you roll out?
That's deep.
That's where you're how
it's a tough question.
Deep insider.
I start my running backs.
Yep. You start your running backs, and then you also want to look at guys that will be working out of the slot, doing short routes. I think tight ends are always a good option. And this is actually some news. Vance McDonald, one of the tight ends for the Steelers, is out for that game. So look for Jesse James to take an expanded role. Could be a good flex play, especially with the windy conditions.
Yeah, Vance McDonald ran down Marcus Cooper last year, if y'all remember.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Good Lord, let's not talk about Marcus Cooper.
Later.
Hey,
I hope we don't hear Marcus Cooper's name.
Yeah.
If we hear Marcus Cooper's name, we're in trouble.
Yo, if Marcus Cooper comes out today, though, and balls out, I mean...
all is forgiven.
Yeah, it is. It will all be forgiven. All right, fellas, why don't you hit us? These guys will keep jumping in with questions. Why don't you hit us with a couple of sleepers? Some guys that are still left out there in the majority of fantasy leagues. Some guys that are sitting there that you think are maybe some good bench depth that are possibly, have the potential to explode. Guys that you think if you just, that one guy you don't want to cut off your bench because you believe that this dude might just come out and surprise the NFL this year. Let's start with the Goon. Goon, go ahead and give us your sleeper that you think that you just will not cut off your bench because you're waiting for this dude to make an impact.
Sure, and he's got his first game today. He hasn't played a down yet in the NFL, but Michael Gallup, the wide receiver from Dallas, I think he's the number one receiver there. He's got a great rapport with Dak Prescott, and he's had some really great catches in the preseason. He's going to have a lot of single coverage today, and I think he's going to have a nice day against the Panthers. So if Michael Gallup is available for any reason in your league, go and pick him up. He's got so much upside. I think he's going to have a great year, and he could be a top 15 receiver by the end of the season.
Nice. Who do you got? Who's another sleeper that you got just sitting there that you won't cut off of your bench?
Well, I'm going to go with I got a couple guys for you. I don't know if any of you guys have watched this guy in the preseason, but this kid's John Ross on the Bengals. He just makes people look silly out there. This dude is fast. He cuts on a dime. This guy's the new Will Fuller. I like this guy. I want to pick him up, but man, our rosters are so small. It's just,
it's tough.
There's no cutting room, but I mean, that's my sleeper pick. I like this kid John Ross from the Bengals. I think guys are gonna hear a little bit about him if he stays healthy.
Okay,
interesting to bring up Will Fuller. Doesn't he have a soft tissue injury?
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah, Will Fuller has a hamstring injury, and the latest report is he is not expected to play today. So if you have him in your lineup, I would remove him as soon as you can.
A soft tissue injury is known as the Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, Alshon Jeffrey.
Yep. Yep.
Also, you got a question in the chat from Michael Tran 3. Jarvis Landry or Marvin Jones? I'm guessing this is either a wide receiver 3 or a flex position question.
I'm going Jarvis Landry all day. He's just a PPR machine.
He's a target whore.
He's going to bless him. He's blessing them.
That's my team name, boys. Bless him.
I'm going to go Marvin Jones. I like.
Wow.
Against the weather, going with Jones is a quick starter. He'll light it up for the first 4 or 5 games, then kind of disappear, then show up again in the playoffs. I don't know if you've noticed that the last few seasons, but I'm going to take Jones in this one against the Jets. I think the Lions don't have much of a running game, at least not that we've seen. But I think with Stafford's big arm, I'm going to take Marvin Jones Jr.
Oh, I thought I drafted a sleeper in Calvin Ridley, but he barely showed up at all in that Falcons game. What a flop!
Wow. Hey, my advice for you is don't give up on Ridley yet. You don't take a pick that high and you not use him. So give it a couple weeks. Ridley is an absolute stud. So I think we're going to see it sooner rather than later.
Hey Joe,
they got to fire Sarkisian.
Hates fantasy football.
What's that?
Steve Sarkisian hates fantasy football.
What's the alcohol percentage of fantasy football? Probably pretty low.
No,
so that's
Steve Sarkisian hates football, period.
Yeah, right, trust me. Question from the chat room again. Of course, it's Shane. Phil wants to know which one of you pussies is going to step up and start Jordan Howard.
Well, I mean, I have him in one of my leagues. So I'm starting him, and Phil's starting him.
I targeted him. Someone took him number 1 overall.
Who would do such a thing?
Who would do such a thing?
No. I think we got to give a shout out to Liz Loza for being exceptionally polite about that whole situation.
Yeah, I got a question for you guys. I was wondering if you guys could hear me shouting all the way from the Philippines when we got Khalil Mack.
Oh.
Did you hear me celebrating?
I think we all heard that. That was a worldwide bear down shout out.
Yeah, I mean, I know for you, you're in the future, but for us, it was waking up in the morning and just a great way to start the day. I think we were all just going nuts, man. And then Twitter was going crazy with all the players commenting and people commenting, and then of course the Packers fans saying that they fucked us by us taking Mac and now having to sign him. Idiots, man. Just a lot of things going on with that signing, and some people are even saying they don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time today because he's not used to, doesn't know the playbook and all that yet. I think that's a
follow the money,
man. Yeah, all he's got to do is go after 12.
Yep, he's going to be out there a lot. I think he's. We just made him the richest player, richest defender in NFL history. Can we put the Bears their cheap talk away now?
Yeah, I think so, man. I mean, they went out and spent a lot of money this year and went after players, and everybody's saying that the owners, the organization, they don't do nothing, they don't make any moves. I think all that shit got put to rest this season, man. This offseason.
Yeah, sure did.
What do you think about the Bears as fantasy options in general, other than Howard? I mean, who's your guys?
No. Trey Burton.
Yeah.
Aldo and Joe and I saw him at training camp, and he was targeted almost every play.
Just keep looking at my team, fellas. I love it.
Hey, you got another question in the chat from Bears Fan for Life. Marshawn Lynch or Kerryon Johnson for RB2? He says he's got no better options for him this week.
Well, it's a tough question.
Man,
Marshawn Lynch is questionable. Marshawn Lynch is questionable with a groin injury. Keep an eye on the injury report. But
the Rams were terrible against the run last year. Terrible against the run. 30th in the league overall.
So if Lynch plays, if Lynch plays, I would roll with Lynch. But just watch that groin injury. If he doesn't play, I really like Doug Martin to have a nice game here.
Yeah.
I think that the Bears could be a little frustrating fantasy-wise on the receiver front just because I think they're going to spread it around a lot. I think other than Burton, I don't know if anybody's really going to step out and be that guy that gets, plus 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns. I think there's going to be a lot of guys that get 700, 800, 5, 6 touchdowns, but I don't know. Do you think Allen Robinson, is ready to repeat his 1,300-yard monster type of season, or what do you think?
Hopefully say yes.
Great question.
Yes.
I think if you follow the the Chiefs model of last year, Kareem Hunt had a huge year, so I expect Jordan Howard to have a huge year. I mean, Howard is not someone who can't make the tough catch. He just didn't have anybody that could get him the ball. I love him to 40, 50 catches this year. I think this will be his best season. I said it before, but the Bears' offense, like the Chiefs' offense, is tight end driven. So you're going to see, Burton targeted, and then we hope Allen Robinson on the outside, we get some jump balls, and the other guys working the slot underneath, trying to create that mismatch.
Yeah, I was debating today about dropping Miller in my flex spot. I think he's, the fantasy predictions only got him for like 6 points or something, but man, I'm still contemplating just dropping him into the flex spot and go in my one league, because by the prediction points, I'm up on this dude, pregame obviously by 20 some points. So I'm like, well, I could give up, 5 and put him in and see what happens. What do you guys think of that? Just going with, I mean, maybe it's just a heart call for me because of going against Packers and these rookie cornerbacks, and these dudes, they haven't played an NFL down yet. I know both of them aren't starting, but
I love it. Packers had nobody in the secondary. They had to draft secondary.
Yeah.
They drafted 3 corners and no wide receivers. They had to draft wide receivers. Yeah.
Who are your other options? I'm curious.
My other options in that, it's because I had to take Fuller out. I had Fuller in, so I had to move. I had to move some people around when the injury report came out, right? And then I had Fuller, and I'm trying to think in that league. I know I had Johnson as a running back on the bench.
I feel this is the help Bobby out fantasy-wise segment.
Yeah, this is kind of some bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on this.
Neither are you this week.
Well, we don't want you to win either, Bobby. We want to make sure there's plenty of punishment left for you.
Well, thanks, buddy.
All right, got another question in the chat.
Go ahead. Yeah, send it.
Michael Tran 3. Again, Cortland Sutton, Kenneth Cole, or Alan Hearns? Which of those 3, how would you rank those 3?
Oh, I think you got to go with Cole.
Yeah, he's the number 1 wideout now.
Alan Hearns is kind of the forgotten signing, though, for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he is, but there's a lot of mouths to feed in Dallas as well. Like I mentioned before, Michael Gallup.
I like Kenneth Cole's clothing and cologne, but I'll take Keelan Cole on the check. Yeah, I love this kid. He's a great deep threat. I think this is a good start for Cole this week. It's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, and he's starting alongside Dante Moncrief. So
yep.
I think both those guys will probably have a nice day, and I think Cole is going to have more points because he's the deep threat, and I expect him to have at least one touchdown today. So Cole is definitely the way to go.
Who's the vultures this year? Who's going to be vulturing away touchdowns from people? Like I kind of like LeGarrette Blount to be a TD vulture.
Yeah, good
for the Lions.
Definitely.
Yeah. Although Kerryon Johnson, not a bad goal line back though, but I like Latavius Murray and the Vikings to be that vulture this year.
Yeah, he'll definitely be a vulture.
Big back. Yep.
As long as they're not playing us, because both of those teams, fuck them.
Yes. Hey, how do you guys handle rookies whenever they come in? You know, there's a lot of hype behind Calvin Ridley, and I'm sure some people started him Thursday. I wouldn't have been one of them. But how do you handle the hype as fantasy guys?
Generally speaking, if it's usually I won't play a rookie in week one, but there's an exception to the rule in Saquon Barkley this week. I think you have to start him because he's going to get a ton of volume. But generally, I try to wait and see how they're going to handle the pressure. Calvin Ridley is a great example. He had 2 opportunities to get catches, and I think he dropped them both. So I like to wait and see on rookies.
Yeah, the wide receiver position, I like to wait. They don't usually blossom until their second or third years. But running backs, I'm fine with. You can feed them in as long as they're not given too hard of assignment in pass blocking. But like featured backs, bell cow backs, big bruisers, I'm fine with starting running backs that are rookies.
Yeah. So we got it's that time. I mean, injury report should have just came out and finalized for all the NFL teams. I'm sure Twitter will be going crazy here in a second, and ESPN updates and fantasy updates will be coming in. Why don't you remind the Barflies and everybody out there listening who's a definite sit today because of injury report and maybe something that just came out or things that they might know yet, guys who just aren't playing today and you need to move them to your bench right now.
Sure thing. I think Will Fuller definitely has to go on the bench. He's questionable with a hamstring, but all the reports say he's probably not going to play. Devontae Parker dealing with an injury, so it looks like he's going to be out. And then same thing with Sony Michel. He's questionable, not expected to play, but I just start.
I just got that update right now, man. Honestly, as you're saying it, let me scroll up real quick. Adam Kaplan just said Patriots running back Sony Michel knee is inactive. Houston versus New England. So there you go on that one.
Then up goes the stock for White and for Rex Burkhead. So if you have either of those guys,
I'll be right back. I'm going to go make a transaction.
Jeremy Hill could be that vulture too now over there.
Yeah, that's true. He'll be the goal line guy probably today. And then I think also Marlon Mack is also a guy that is a game-time decision for the Colts today. I would avoid him if you possibly could. So, yeah, I would stay away from Marlon Mack. And then, like before, I said Vance McDonald is out, tight end for the Steelers. Yeah. And then, Josh Gordon is, off the injury report, but he's, looks like he's probably going to play. But just keep an eye on that situation before game time.
Something kind of interesting from Josh Katzenstein, which is a guy that has a lot of Saints. He's a beat writer for Times-Picayune. He says that Cameron Meredith is jogging with the practice squad guys before the game. The active players running in this group are typically inactive. So Cam Meredith could be inactive for the Saints. Not maybe a huge fantasy starter, but a guy that Bears fans are obviously still interested in following closely.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will be fantasy relevant at some point this season, but I don't think they have any reason to rush him back because they have so many weapons. So I don't expect him to play today either. If for some reason you had him starting, I would go ahead and put him on your bench.
Okay, I got a question for you. If there was a fantasy league for most Eli Manning face and you couldn't take Eli Manning, what quarterback would you take for that? I think there's a consensus that it's going to be number 12 in Green Bay tonight.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Josh Rosen has
Just
that face.
That what the fuck
already.
is going on, look?
Josh Rosen looks like he's never slept in his life.
The mouth breathers.
I think it's Phillip Rivers. He looks so pissed off all the time.
Well, Phillip Rivers has like
75,000
12 kids.
right?
He's got like 15 children.
He does.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
got a
mad.
tie.
He's not mad. He's just tired. The dude gets all kinds of ass, and he keeps spitting out kids. And he's got all kinds of diapers to change. He's just wore out, man. I mean, maybe we should drop another Blue Chew sponsor in at this point. But
The Rivers family is proud sponsors of Blue Chew.
If your Rivers is dried up, go ahead and start using some Blue Chew.
Get things flowing
Shane-
like Phillip Rivers.
Shane asked if Aldo and Diddy are starting Quentin Nelson in their wet dream fantasy today.
That's right.
I don't know, man. I mean, I honestly, like I said earlier, I think a lot of people are just want to see Nelson get run over and Luck take a sack today. I know all Bear fans are going to retweet it just on spite alone. People are going to just love to share that thing if it comes out.
On spite, on principle alone.
Yeah. Well,
Is anybody on the Colts fantasy start worthy?
Well, actually,
Maybe
we got
T.Y. Hilton?
We got some breaking news from the Colts, by the way. I just mentioned it. Marlon Mack is officially inactive tonight or this afternoon. So I would say definitely get Marlon Mack on your bench. Jordan Wilkins is going to get the start. So if you have him, he's a great flex play for today.
Yeah, a guy I like coming out of Ole Miss this year. Averaged like 6.7 yards a carry. Not a bad back, bigger guy. Good, decent receiver. So, guy that the coaching staff likes. They just don't trust him in pass protection. So we'll see what happens. I think, is it Christine Michael over there still?
He is. Yeah, he is.
So he
You
makes
guys
split
lost
carry.
me. I didn't hear any Bears players in this.
I love
Here's
the matchup with the
Here's
Bears.
another thing here's another one that just came out, and I know he was supposed to be a stud. I want to say he was a second-round pick. The Bucks have officially named Ronald Jones inactive today against New Orleans. So I know
Wow,
they
that's
gave him some
surprising.
shots. Yeah, they gave him some shots in the preseason, and I thought for sure they were going to try to give him a go today, but they've officially labeled him as inactive.
Well, if that's the case, then Peyton Barber is a nice flex play today. He's going to get a lot of work.
Yeah, good ball player. Yep. Yeah, I love the Bears-Packers trenches matchup today with the running games. Jamal Williams had a good finish to the season. He's going to be going up against guys like Eddie Goldman and Akeem Hicks, good run stoppers. And then, with Jordan Howard, you got to watch out for Mike Daniels in the middle. That big guy's a good run stopper too. So this is something for us to watch. I'd love for the Bears offense to come out and this time play calling, keep the Packers D off balance, guessing, a win up there could start a march to the playoffs, man. That's what I'm looking for. A special season. So for worst to first would be great for me, man.
Yeah, so a quick rundown for the Barflies, just so you're all tracking on who we're talking about here. So we've gone Will Fuller. Well, we'll go over inactives first. Your inactives so far that we mentioned: Will Fuller, Sony Michel, Ronald Jones, Devontae Parker, Cam Meredith, Marlon Mack, and I think that was it for the big names, right?
Vance McDonald for a
Vance
lower end tight
McDonald.
end.
Yep. And then on the active side of it, I think we've only really said that Josh Gordon is definitely going to be active today. Were there any others that? Oh no, and Greg Olsen, right?
Yeah, Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen looks like he's active. Yes.
Yeah, I think Greg Olsen's playing.
So even though those guys are listed right now, I think it has to be official by now. But whether or not when the news gets out, it's going to be a different story. Any last things you guys got for the Barflies or anybody here that you want to add real quick?
I mean, if you're in need of a flyer at tight end, just keep an eye on Jordan Reed this week. I know a lot of leagues people are kind of not sure what to expect because he's always injured, but he's starting today, and Alex Smith's going to look his way often. So if you have Jordan Reed, he's a guy you're going to want to plug in your lineup.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I'd say any questions, tweet at FFBGoon on Twitter. Answer all questions.
Okay, you heard him, Barflies. You got anything else? Just add it to the Fantasy Football Goon at FFBGoon.
Yep.
And kick them your questions and pay attention. Give these guys a follow, pay attention. And I'm sure they're going to be posting the actives, inactives, and, get your Sunday nights right on this Bears game tonight, and pay attention for any Monday night, action and all that throughout the year with these guys. Any last-minute questions? Are you guys going to do up like a DraftKings best pick or, best bang for your buck or anything along those lines that you're going to put out for guys who maybe don't play fantasy leagues but jump in every now and then and do a DraftKings?
Yeah, we always talk about the DraftKings values, and we usually mention those in our weekly preview that we put out. Usually comes out on Wednesday or Thursdays, so we always talk about that. And tune in to that, and we'll talk about all the guys you want to start and good plays in DraftKings and good value plays as well. So definitely check out our weekly preview that comes out middle of the week.
Awesome. All right, fellas.
Yeah.
Tooch, Goon, we appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Barflies, you know where to follow them. Get in there, share their stuff. Let's build up the Fantasy Football Goon. Get everybody after it. There might be some love lost tomorrow, though, because I know a couple of us are playing each other today.
That's right.
Yeah. Thanks for having us. You guys sound great.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Appreciate it, fellas. We'll talk to you all later.
Yep, talk to you later.
Guys.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, a reminder that we've got to pick them, too, that you can pick against some of the Bears Barroom personalities.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not in the pick 'em yet. I got too many fantasy things going. But, yeah, we got to pick them, and it goes by spread for those of you who are, who are interested in jumping in and playing. But you go up against some of the barroom personalities, and it is by spread, though. So pay attention when you get in there.
I fucked that up.
That's where the North advantage comes in.
Yeah.
Mike North.
Yeah, don't forget Mikey North, betchicago.com. Don't forget Mikey North Advantage, North to North on Twitter.
Yep, you want to get in there and battle against old Mikey North and the North Advantage, and you want to take out some of these barroom personalities and guys in there. I don't know if Shane's even playing Pick'em, but he might be. But, we'll get in there and play against these guys, and then, load yourself up with some shit talking that you want to do. Guys, before we wrap this thing up, you got anything else you want to add, or is there any questions coming in from Barflies that you want to throw out there real quick?
I'm just ready to see us dominate tonight, sit back with a cold drink, and watch the Bears finally do it and really put Green Bay back in the hole that they belong.
Agreed, man. I mean, I'm done. We need, for those of you Game of Thrones fan out there, there's only one true king in the North, and we need to get back in the fucking throne, man. It's time for the Bears to take this shit over again, get back on the throne and run this shit. Nikki, hey, you got anything you want to add before we wrap this thing up and get the shout-outs?
I just got to say, guys, Bears football is back, and we're opening up against the Packers. It's time to roll, baby. Gonna be a good day.
Hell yeah. Hey, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm here. I had just want to thank you guys for doing this. This has been awesome. First of many to come. Great group of guys. Bears Bar Room's been great. What an off season. Just so much fun. So much content, thank everybody over at Bears Hour Live at 100 Proof. We got the North Advantage. Bears Bar Room is definitely coming. You're not going to find any better content out there for Bears fans than on right here on the Bears Bar Room Network. And I'm just happy to be another show on there and adding to your Sunday. And I just I'm super excited to follow up the most exciting Bears offseason ever with possibly one of the most exciting seasons ever. Last year was hard to watch a lot. It was really, really hard to watch. And the reason I found the Bears Bar Room is because of Fire John Fox. So I hope we never have to have to do anything like that again, but Nagy better know that if he screws up in a couple years, we'll be coming for him just like we came for Fox. But just excited. What better way to open it up than on Sunday Night Football? All eyes on the Bears, and it's gonna be a great season, guys. And just thanks so much. And here's my son with a little sign for the video chat. Go Bears!
Right on.
Thanks,
Go Bears!
He's been dancing around in the background. It's pretty funny. Go ahead, Jared. Why don't you start us off with shout-outs, man? You got any shout-outs you want to throw out there?
Yeah, the first thing I want to put is we got a message from Boss Man to announce at the end of the show. Barfly Show will be available 20 minutes after we sign off. Just head over to bearsbarroom.com where you'll find a link or look for the link on our Twitter page at Bears Barroom or on the Bears Barroom Facebook page. Big shout-out to Logan Diddy.
Yeah,
Logan, happy birthday, little Logan.
Happy birthday, Logan.
Yeah,
happy
little bit Diddy up there celebrating his birthday.
Happy birthday, young man.
You're going to be converted yet.
Yeah, he's a Bucs fan, man. We got to change that kid. He's a Bucs fan. I don't even know how. Diddy's dad's a Green Bay fan. Diddy's a Bears fan. His brother's a Buffalo fan. Like, his son's a Bucs fan. Like, what the hell is going on up there?
Sometimes your kids go astray. I made sure to take my oldest to the Bears camp this year, so he's locked in. Nice. Especially because they're doing such a good job with all those comic book characters.
Yeah, man. Israel Adonijah and those comic book characters. We're still waiting on that one for the Mac. He's supposed to add it soon. Nikki, you got any shout-outs before we get out of here?
I got to give a huge shout-out to everybody at the barroom, man. They've been just nothing but a position of nothing but success, man. And we're eternally grateful. And to each and every Barfly, we're going to have more and more on as we go. It's going to be awesome. And we love and appreciate all of you guys' love and support. I cannot express the gratitude. The words can't describe it. So we appreciate all of you guys and love y'all.
All right, AA, we already hit you on shout-outs, right? Or you got anything else you want to add?
Just shout out everybody in the chat room. We had over 40 people in there at one point, so appreciate you all coming in. Appreciate the support. We see the love on Twitter already, and we're coming. So thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right, I'm gonna throw one out there to Phil, Draft Dr. Phil. Thanks for pushing and getting us prepared, and Shane and your guidance. We appreciate it, man. As always, Aldo, helping us out and working the midnight hours of breaking everything down for us and drawing it together for a bunch of rookie-ass Bears fans. Well, not rookie Bears fans, but rookie podcast dudes and Bears
doesn't
fans
happen
just
without
trying to bring some shit here to the Barflies. Thanks again to all the Barflies in the chat room for joining us this morning. We look forward to bringing you guys some pregame coverage this year and hearing from you guys, as we go. Make sure to follow at Bears Barroom Radio Network. Tune into BHL, to 100 Proof, to John Buffone, to Mike North Advantage. They got everything you need, man. All your bases are covered. And then make sure you come back tonight. MixLR, we're on tap, where Aldo and Danny are going to be bringing you a little post-game show 15 minutes after the game. So if you want some instant analysis, some breakdown right after the game, make sure you get in there on that. It's time to bring it today, Bears fans. Let's get out there and do this thing. Barflies, thanks for coming, man. You guys, time. Let's go. Bears season. Here we go.
Let's go.
18, baby. All right, man.
Right.
We're out.
One more thing. Bears Girl would be upset if we didn't mention bearsbarroom.com, the swag shop. Swag shop is up.
Oh, you gotta get to that swag shop.
Get your shirts. We already have seen some shirts coming out. Some hats. Get your gear. Get geared up. Bears Girl.
It's so swag. It's a very fitting name, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Bears Girl's always doing her thing behind the scenes, and she's running that swag shop. She's doing all kinds of creative designs and that, and she's over there doing her work. She's doing a little running right now, maybe. Still, I don't know if she's still out there hitting the pavement and running, but she was lucky enough to have these fine gentlemen in her ear the whole run.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure
I'm doing this to my cooler for more beer.
I'm pretty sure the bloaty pony made her get into a dead sprint so she can get the fuck away. But hey,
shout out to Pony, the baloney pony.
All right, guys, man, let's go push tonight for a big Bears game. Let's put up this 41-17 as AireJer called it. Barflies, thanks again for joining us, man. We're out of here.
No NFL teams have played each other more than the Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers.
Wow. Bears fans ain't easy to love, and they're often quite bold. Hey, baby, we gonna be here all day. They're often pessimistic and sometimes sadistic, watching it unfold. I like that kind of party, baby. Orange jerseys and hoodies fill up on Sundays.
A heated matchup.
The life of a Bears fan is always full of hope, no matter if home or away. We're gonna be here all day, baby. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Packer fans. I like that kind of party. I like that kind of party. There's good girls and bad boys and everything between. Just don't let them wear that piss yellow and gray. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Packer fans. There's good girls and bad girls and everything between. Just don't let them wear that piss yellow and gray. Bears fans are loyal to stand by their team when they're losing. I like that kind of party. Defense, linebackers, running backs, performing at night.
Chicago Bears.
Some teams they don't like them, don't love. Sometimes they can't take them. The Chicago Bears have been knocked down and always got up, ready to fight. We're gonna be here all day, baby. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Packer fans.
More minutes before the Bears start kicking some ass, huh?
Bad boys and everything between. Just don't let them wear that piss yellow and gray. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be Packer fans.
A few more minutes before the Bears start kicking some ass, huh?
Good girls and bad boys and everything between. Just don't let them wear that piss yellow and gray.
Chicago Bears are going to win opening night.
Wow.
They will beat the Packers.
There's good girls and bad boys and everything between. Just don't let them wear that piss yellow and grind.
It's piss yellow and green.
Don't let your babies grow up to be Packer fans. Everybody there's good girls and bad boys and everything between. Just don't let them wear that piss yellow and green.
It's piss yellow and green.
Mama, don't let your babies be Packer fans. Go Bears!
It's the league's longest running rivalry. A heated matchup.